Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We're here for the first of 3 Super Rugby Pacific fixtures that we do have for the Saturday. And this first one, it's a big one. It is going to be Hurricanes taking on Crusaders in what should be a very exciting game from Sky Stadium. Very strong lineup for both of these sides, although I do actually see in the changing room straight away, Lester Fainanuku is still going to be coming off the bench. I heard a rumour that maybe he might have been starting for this game, but I think that rumor was just someone saying that he might have been. But now this is the starting lineup. That's a lie. This is the table. I'm having a shocker at the start of this one. We've been doing sevens, which has really ended up just boosting my mood well and truly. New Zealand just able to get themselves a sneaky win up against Argentina in the sevens. But this is the table, the way that it sits. Crusaders currently sitting there in third on 23 points. The Hurricanes sitting there in eighth on 10 points. But if they get themselves a win here, they will help propel themselves up just a little bit further in the table. Looking through at the home side for this game, the Hurricanes, it is going to be Pori Rakini-Stones, Asafa Moa, and Tyrell Lomax as the front row. Then from there, James Blackwell at 4, Scott Scrafton will be slotting in there at 5. Then TK Howden on debut for the Hurricanes gets a huge opportunity here to be able to make an impact. Definitely in such a strong loose board trio alongside Duplessis Karifi at number 7 and Artie Savia as the captain at number 8. Okay. Late changes, they have actually said. I see a Jamie Booth warming up, so I'm not too sure who's missing now. Okay, TJ Perenara, late withdrawal. So because of that, Jamie Booth will be starting at 9. So forget TJ Perenara, who we were just about to say. Jackson Garden-Bishop there at 10. Geordie Barrett and Billy Proctor making up the midfield. And then out on both wings, it will be Wes Hawson, Julian Savia, and then Josh Morby at the back. And also we have got there, he gets nervous sometimes, says Jay. Not quite. And also we've got the A-mate in there. And also the Hurricanes have a good chance today, says David. They've got a decent chance. They've got as good of a chance as they could have, seeing as they have got that home ground advantage. Although I'm curious to see how Geordie Barrett in the midfield goes up against... James O'Reilly starting at 2 here. So that means Asafa Moa is also a late exclusion from their lineup. So the Hurricanes having quite a few changes. We will get used to those as they happen, of course. But this is the lineup for the Crusaders. Joe Moody, Cody Taylor, and Fletcher Knoll will be the front row. Then from there, it is Scott Barrett and also Quinton Strange as the lock duo. Scott Barrett, he will be the captain for the Crusaders in this game. Pablo Matera, Ethan Blackadder, and Cullen Grace as the loose forward trio, all very good. So it's actually going to be Kiriru Symes who's on debut for the Hurricanes as the man who's coming off the bench in the later stages. Mitch Drummond at 9, Richie Moong at 10, David Avili, Braden Enor. Then from there, Sever Reese, George Bridge, and Will Jordan as the back 3. Which is exactly what you want. And also Jerry Cuzzy's in there. Seth Doyle, Smithy, welcome in. And also we've got Ali and the chat, Sid, hi, and Petty and Jason from a little bit earlier on. But 16 degrees Celsius here at the moment. It's a nice afternoon there at Sky Stadium. Those people are looking straight into the sun, which wouldn't be too much fun. But the Hurricanes, they will have to really step up for this occasion. While this is taking place, ladies and gentlemen, I will also keep you informed of what is happening in the sevens. Currently, Canada about to take on the Blitzboks in their game in Hey Artie, hey y'all, says Katie Dixon. And anyone wondering, the USA just beat Kenya in there as well. And also, hey, family, go the Canes, says Desla. And yeah, it's going to be a big game for them. If they win it, they do promote themselves up the table just a little bit more. They'll be above the Western Force. If they end up losing this game, though, it means that the Crusaders can try and work their way into first place. Greetings all, says Lord. And there's also welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Cody Taylor, he will be starting at 2 up against James O'Reilly, slightly inexperienced fella. And I can't get the game, so I put on a Super Rugby 2021 final, and I'll pretend it's the same game. Says Katie, I'm liking it. You know, if life hands you lemons, you make lemonade. If life doesn't show you one game, you watch another. I feel like that's great life advice. You know, if you can't watch one movie that you wanted to see, just go to a different one. It's not the same in the movies, is it? You might end up like watching a rom-com when you wanted to watch like a straight out just satire or something. Now running their way out onto the field at Sky Stadium. The Hurricanes ready to go for this game. Home crowd advantage for them. Geordie Barrett gets someone a high five. He's actually playing at 12, like I mentioned. And also, who do you go for? I really hope Canes will score the points or to will close the score points, to be honest, and steal the win. And also, we'd love to see another team able to get win over Crusaders other than the Chiefs. And how Katie says Ed there for that one. But yeah, we'll be interested to see how it goes, because if the Crusaders do end up winning this game, I believe just for now they will actually take first place up until the Brumbies playoff against the Fijian draw a little bit later on in the day. But Richie Moonga, he is going to be kicking this one off right. Okay, James Dolman was going to be the referee, but now it's going to be Brendan Pickerel. So not only are there changes in a team, but there's also changes in the refereeing department as well. But Brendan Pickerel in charge of this one. And Richie Mo'unga, he is going to be the man kicking off this game. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who do you think will be able to score the first try of the match? And yeah, it's just about to get underway. We have got the hey, brother, hope you're well. And there it says Katie Dixon, and it's going to be an exciting one because the Crusaders, they are, I guess you could call them defending champs of Super Rugby, not Super Rugby Trans-Tasman, but the Super Rugby, initial Super Rugby. And also we have got there, Katie going to twerk if the Canes win. And do you reckon Canes have what it takes to get the win today? It's going to be tricky. I can try and tell you in about maybe 10 minutes time. I just want to see how they start. And also we have got there, well, what's next? Change the venue. As Al says, Lord, yeah, this stage, it seems like it could be the case. And also what's happening, why all these changes. I believe TJ Perenara, I would assume, is some sort of injury. Referee, who knows, maybe referee is also injured or possibly maybe positive case. Could have meant that they're not able to continue refereeing, but Jackson Garden-Basher kicking it down from inside of his 22 now in the hands of Richie Mo'unga. Now, starting to try and make his way towards the halfway line. He has been able to do just that. Mitch Drummond's got it on the halfway line now. Passes back to Cody Taylor, quick hands. Very nice little pop pass after Braden Enoch down the wing now. Just received the pass from Will Jordan and twerks in front of Geordie Barrett's house. And they're live and pumped for the rugby U2, Katie. And there as well, that's going to be taken nicely. I think it was Tyrell Lomax making that tackle. Mo'unga now goes back across. Quinton Strange gets his first carry of the match. Mitch Drummond probably lucky not to get penalised there. Reed Princep almost fell straight over the top. Who's going to score the first try? I'll go Will Jordan. It's the first try scorer for this one. Speaking of first try scorers, Canada's just scored against South Africa. 2 minutes into the game. That's huge. Well, but we will keep you updated on the sevens as well that has taken place. I've got Sky Sport 1 as the rugby, Sky Sport 2 as the sevens. And it is a rugby-filled day. We've even got the URC later on tonight. Will Jordan trying to step round, not quite able to do so. It's a counter ruck and beautifully stolen there by Scott Scrafton. Someone's getting a red or a yellow this game. And there is LCS. So yeah, it almost seems like a given lately for Super Rugby. There is some sort of penalty that leads to a yellow or a red. And I guess actually the same colours as the kits for this game. Jamie Booth now, late replacement for TJ Perenara. Back into the hands now. Ooh, getting forced backwards. Who's number 15 for this game? I believe they have got... Who is number 15 for this game? I can remember him, but I can't remember him at the same time. I know that it's not Ruben Love by the looks of him. Was it supposed to be Ruben Love? No. Oh, no, sorry. Josh Morby. So he's at the back. I just realised. I was like, hang on. Ruben Love. I think he was going to be coming off the bench at 23, but Will Jordan, was a big hit on him. Initially from Reed Princep, then the counter ruck from the Hurricanes did lead to them being able to turn over the ball, and it looks like they will be taking on the 3 points nice and early here for the Hurricanes. And also we have got there from a little bit earlier, I'm doing live stream all ready to go, and also beautiful weather here in Wellies. Yeah, it's looking very nice. And also while you got Amy Park as the background, I decided I would go with it just because, for one, I didn't have a picture of Sky Stadium other than that one next to me, and also because I just like the stadium. It's just nice, isn't it, with the little arches. But yeah, I probably will have random stadiums for the next couple of live streams. I might be able to find FMG Stadium, but I just decided why not mix it up and have a random one. I can change it to Sky Stadium if it does bother you guys too much, I guess. But now at this stage, Geordie Barrett going to be lining up this kick from about 35 metres out. Strikes it nicely, and that one will be going over. So now the score in this game, it is going to be 3-0 in favour of the Hurricanes, the home side. 3 minutes in. And there is still plenty of this match to play. Another 77 minutes followed by the game between the Chiefs and the Blues, followed then by a game South Africa's just scored in the sevens game, so that didn't take too long. JC Pretorius gets himself one there. Not quite taken cleanly. And instead now Billy Proctor has been able to grab that one for the Hurricanes. It's gone just backwards. Now Savia gets his carry. And still going to be available here for Jamie Booth, who looks like he's going to be setting up for a pass rather than the kicking option. Porty Rackety Stones throws himself at the line. Still waiting for it. Now this time Jamie Booth puts it back. And Geordie Barrett at number 12 kicks it way down the field. Taken nicely by Will Jordan, though, who's running onto the ball. And now he has got a little bit of space to be able to make something happen just inside of the half of the Hurricanes now for the Crusaders. Doesn't it back across it as Richie Mo'unga goes to Cody Taylor. Drummond Once again, quickly recycled by the Crusaders. Ethan Blackadder. Hang on, he's starting at 6. Where is Pablo? Pablo might have gone home. So because, or not literally home, he would be in Argentina if that was the case. But I think they might have a different, they've actually got Tom Christie at number 7. So another late change in this game compared to the starting lineup. So I will try my best to keep you guys all updated with all of the changes that have taken place in this game. But there are plenty of them by the looks of it for both sides and also in the refereeing department with Brendan Pickerel getting to start off as the referee and hopefully finish off. But saying that, it could be a sub later on in the game, depending on how it goes. Do you think they'd ever consider kind of that side of things of having like a half of one ref and a half of another? I feel like that would be a weird one to do, wouldn't it? So happy as right now after the Rebels win last night. Xavier, very close game with the Western Force, but a win is a win. And that was exactly what the Rebels were able to do. They're working their way quite close to the top 8 now, which is quite cool to see. Again, not so well from the Crusaders. And now Jamie Booth's got this one only a couple metres out from his line. He's lined up by Finley Brewis. Should say, my tongue's in the wrong place. Now, Bishop plays halfback, gives it off to Tyrell Lomax, and now drops back into the pocket. Jamie Booth, I believe he will be getting this one. I would rather go to Geordie Barrett, though, if I was Jamie Booth. As you know, he's got a lot more distance. And I think Geordie Barrett also said, do you want me to kick it? And Garden Bishop said, nah, I'll do it. Kicked it about 15 metres out from his own line, and now it's going to be the Crusaders who have now got themselves a very good position for the line-out. So you have to wonder, was it a better option to give it to Geordie Barrett? I think Sawyer's Wapi, he's just scored another try for the Blitzbok, or actually that might be the half. It's at half time, possibly. And also, Hamish, is it hot today in New Zealand? It's not too bad, 17 degrees. So it's probably one of the hotter days that we do get. And also, I see all the lights at halftime in question 1 of 12. And as I says, Brandon, that one's now going to be thrown in nicely by Quinton Strange, taking that one in the rolling maul here. Crusaders try and build themselves a little bit further towards the Hurricanes line. Cody Taylor at the back. That man scores a lot of tries throughout the Super Rugby competition. Let's go the Canes. There's Seth Bettywear. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, your score predictions for this game. David Arvili, first receiver, Richie Moang, a little bit of a step, almost goes around Billy Proctor. He's put the ball down though. James O'Reilly counter-attack here. And Geordie Barrett's got it. He goes for the kicking option, goes for the 50-22. It's going to sit up nicely. It just goes into touch. And unable to get it, it was Josh Morby, but Geordie Barrett liked the kicking option more than the running option. And also we have got there, and also we have got, I've got Crusaders on my Super Brew. But be nice if the Canes win. Yes, there's Novmum, and also we've got there the black and yellow hearts from Paddy. And currently, Geordie Barrett, he just didn't quite get that angle that he was after on that one. You have to wonder, was it the best option? Because they did have the men on the outside. It's a loose ball for Drummond. He's taken it nicely. Sever Reese now having to kick this one downfield. It's a decent kick. It's close to the touchline. Where's Horson? Just able to stay in the field of play. Now going across to Morby. He's got some heavy strapping on that left leg, which does not look too flash for them, but he has been very quick throughout his early stages. Horson now off to the bus. Julian Savia almost able to pierce his way through. Horson gets it again, bumping off the tackle of Braden Enor. It's a good turnover. Straight in there was Tom Christie. Before anyone for the Hurricanes had been able to get themselves in there, he was already stealing that one. And off the bounce though, Geordie should have kept running. And there's Tesla pop pass up to Ethan Blackadder. Good carry from him. Like I mentioned, he is starting at number 6. That is because of Pablo Matera being out for this game now. I don't even know if he's coming off the bench. And also, okay, it's kind of weird how these games are synced up. And there's Katie Dixon. So I assume is it 3-0 in your game. Nice run from Cullen Grace. Ball off to Will Jordan. And he's going, he's quick. And Geordie Barrett will not catch him. And Will Jordan scores the first try as Will Jordan playing. He sure is. And he has just scored the opening try of the match for the Crusaders. Actually predicted that one. That's decent work in the end. But Geordie Barrett, he kicked the ball away a little bit earlier on from there. They haven't been able to get the ball back for the Hurricanes. And now Will Jordan does turn that one into a clinical finish. Try scorers for them. It was Will Jordan. Does end up picking up that try. How do you spell Jordan? Isn't it? I put Jordan as in like D-I-N, which was not the way that you... Wait, no, it's Jordan, isn't it? So I had a shocker there. But that's a nice try for Will Jordan. Got the pass from Cullen Grace after the initial ball that did go across, and also Gass's Geordie in there. And also we have got their Will Jordan. And also we have got their Will Jordan as a fast man. He sure is. And Fiji Sevens off to a slow start. Yeah, they did end up losing their first game, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, they've been away for a little while. So hopefully the next competition, they will certainly be a lot stronger And also, as long as they beat France, that's their big game. If they beat France, they have a chance of making it through. Because you know what time it is? I first live stream. Can you go you can go to question 2, and this is Brandon. I feel like you're probably the only one who can tell me that, Brandon, what time it is starting. But now currently Richie Mo'unga about to be lining it up. 9 minutes 30 into this game here. Okay, 28 tries and 37 matches for Will Jordan. I don't know of too many players around that have that much of a successful strike rate, unless you're looking at someone along the lines of maybe Makazole Mapimpi. That's gone over from Richie Mo'unga. And now the score will be 7 points to the Crusaders, 3 to the Hurricanes. So the first try of the match goes to Will Jordan. Who will be able to get themselves the second try? You know what? I'm going to say it's Will Jordan again. We'll give him 2 in a row. That's how it goes. And also know you can look. And as Aussies, Brandon, it's probably a little bit tricky to do with the Super Rugby going on at the moment. But now Jamie Booth kicks it off. Taken nicely there by George Bradshaw. He runs into a wall of James O'Reilly. Yeah, go Crusaders and 17 tries and 13 tests for the AB's Will Jordan. The bloody machine. He certainly is. They want to excited to see Bossi play tonight. Yeah, he's an absolutely gem of a talent that they've found for the Fijian rower. And him up against the Brumbies, it's going to be good because he will be up against, I believe, it will actually be Tom Wright. No, Tom Wright's at fullback for this game, I believe, actually. Out on that right wing. Who they got on the right wing, the Brumbies, for this game? I can't quite remember. Or someone's down at the moment. I think that's David Havili in a ball, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it is. And it might be some sort of either rib or shoulder or something for David Havili. And I was like, Yahoo Crusaders. There's Lord now. A nice couple of steps from Geordie Barrett. Still actually making his way forward there. Up to the 22 now around the side. Oh, someone else is down. I think that's Tom Christie, also with an arm injury. Right, they're dropping like flies at the moment for the Crusaders. Good sell on dummy. Pop pass, and it's going to be Duplessis Karefi who scores the next try of the game. And he is fired up for it. And now the Hurricanes have been able to get themselves back into this contest. That was very nicely done by the Hurricanes, the home side for this one. Hurricanes. Remote, we will go Hurricanes, try scorers. And we will go like this. And we will go, it is Karefi. Karefi. Tell you what, my spelling's having a shocker today, unfortunately. We're going to go just last names because I know that like some people's first names are very tricky to spell. So we'll go with Duplessis Karefi there. Is that how you spell it? Probably not. I have to have another look at that. And also about who's injured on the ground. So first of all, it was Tom Christie who was injured. Then also David Havili. David Havili first. Then after that, it was actually Tom Christie. So I think both of them are back up, but it didn't look too good for either of them at points throughout that stage. And yes, boy, Karefi. And there's Rando. And also what a good start to both teams. That's the thing. These two sides are going to score probably, I would argue, around 4 tries at least each. It just seems like it's going to be that fast-paced. And also, how's it going, people? Big love, big love. Welcome in, Sebastian. Hope you are doing well, mate, currently. For anyone who is following along with the sevens as well, it is going to be South Africa versus Canada. 4 minutes, 20 left. 12 points to 5 in favour of the South Africans. And also, we've got that Hamish, your mic voice cancellation is so good. I can't hear fan noise and any background noise. It's not too bad overall. I will mention you can't hear fan noise because there's no fan around. But if I was like over here and I was like, maybe you could slightly hear that as well. Geordie Barry, he's at the post with that one. Scott Robinson, he was pretty happy, or pretty unhappy, I should say, with Duplessis Karefi. To come back to at halftime question, what is $189? Then you give Katie Dixon 96. How much money do you have now? And there says Brandon. So if I was to give Katie Dixon $96, then I would still have, I think that's 93 I would have left. I'm a very generous individual then. You're earning more than half. Katie, you owe me $96 though. That's why we got the A out of A, really. I hope you're well. It's South Africa 7's team are on a hot winning streak. They certainly are. Currently Canada trying to shut it down. And I guess a draw would still keep that streak continuing. And Geordie Barrett could kick the ball out of the stadium if he wanted. He certainly gets the power, that is for sure. Now Geordie Barrett kicking this one downfield off the penalty. It's very bright in the background. Like the yellow seats in the sun just stand out 10 times more. And I absolutely love it because it's probably one of my favorite stadiums around just because I really like yellow. On quickly, knock on from Julian Savia. And I will be going back now for the scrum. Like they're showing there. South Africa in the sevens is actually on their second longest winning streak in history for the sevens, 34. And they do have a few more to get to 48, which is for the Kiwis. I actually ended up filming a few videos for preview-wise of upcoming sevens kind of squads and math and money. This is Katie Dixon and I, Sebastian Bro. And I was aiming to predict which one will win, Hurricanes or Crusaders. For me, I'm going to go Crusaders, but that's only because they're the safe option. The Hurricanes, though, from what I've seen in this first little while, they've got some power. And also, they are looking like they're using their backline very nicely. Definitely out wide, the likes of Horson, Savia, and then Morby joining the line quite nicely at fullback. This one, and also try time for South Africa. And there says Brandon as well. And also, we've got that nice half-full stadium. And there says Lord. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. It's slightly unfortunate that they can't have that completely full stadium, but then it's also quite cool because they get to see all that yellow in the background. I'm sure that the people who run the stadium won't see it that way as, oh, it's okay because people can see our nice, cool seats rather than people sitting in them. That would be quite unfortunate. What I'm going to quickly do is we're going to go like this and like this, and we will go like this. I'm actually going to change it to the nice, bright seats in the background. You guys can also see it. Where are we? Do I actually have the stadium saved? This one will do. It's not quite nighttime, though, I will mention. One moment. It's about to do it. There we go. We got the fireworks and all sorts going off. And Wes Wilson is underrated, fastest accelerating winger in the comp for my money. And there's, oh, yeah, he's a very impressive individual, Wes Wilson, and just got pure pace. And also, the thing that I like about Wilson is he's not one of those wingers who back himself too much, if that makes sense. He will pass the ball if there is going to be that opportunity, whereas some wingers go, look at me, I can go down the wing, I can beat 5 defenders, and then they just get forced into touch and everyone looks at them like, you egg. But at least with Wes Wilson, he does have that vision of being able to find that next pass or the offload. And I was like, did you guys watch or hear about Dan Carter kicking for 24 hours straight for charity? I did indeed. He did end up doing it in the end. I think he got 1,600 kicks, didn't he? At every point of international they did get. And also, All Black Sevens beat Argentina. I see. What a comeback. Good to see them back in action, says Sebastian. Although the end of that game was so weird. Sebastian, pretty much, New Zealand got a yellow card. So Argentina, 2 points down, 35 meters out from the line. 7 on 6. They went, okay, we're going to have a kick at the post, even though there's 10 seconds left. And they did end up doing the drop kick attempt. They missed it. New Zealand kicked it into touch, and New Zealand won by 2 points with a man disadvantage, which was really strange from Argentina. Richie Mo'unga now running it sideways, finds the offload to Sever Reese down the wing. He kicks it downfield. It looks like it's just going to creep into touch. Taking a quick throw there. Josh Morby should not have done that because now it was almost on. Now, though, Jamie Booth kicks it a mine, and there's a little bit of space available for them waiting for this ball to bounce up. It is going to be now in the hands of George Bridge on the halfway line. This game's just accelerating from pace to pace at the moment. Sever Reese out on the wing. Great low tackle from Wes Wilson. Right around the bootlaces. Counteract there from the Hurricanes. But it's back on the side of the Crusaders in the form of George Bridge, who's come a long way off his wing to be able to retain that ball for his side. We have Sky Stadium, says Brandon. Is indeed a stranger deep, but sometimes teams lose themselves the game. And there is us, says Sebastian. And also, what's up with Vili and Christie? Are they out? It seems like they've both continued, but Christie looked like he really had some damage. Like the way he stayed down for a start, maybe he just got a little bit of a stinger on the funny bone or something, so he kind of hurt himself for a little bit of time, but he's back out there, or he is fine now, and same with David Havili. And quick throw on there, says Tesla, and well, why did he do that? He saw something that no one else did. Although the only team that saw it was the Crusaders, and they were able to really make the most of it there. Currently, now going to be available once again, Jamie Booth after Scott Scrafton. Now, it's going to be looking for this pass here for Jamie Booth by the looks of it. When is Isaiah Walker-Leawero back from injury, I wonder? Because he is another player in the locking department. Same with Dominic Bird. We haven't really seen too much of him. That's a big hit from Geordie Barrett on Will Jordan, saying that All Blacks number 15 kit's mine, mate. Now short side, Sever Reese out to Tom Christie. He's got Cullen Grace with him. Cuts on the inside instead. And runs straight at Artie Savia, which is normally not something that a lot of doctors would recommend because that can normally lead pretty badly. That's a good bump off from Ethan Black out of there. Bumping off the tackle of, it was actually James Blackwell. It's penalty to the Crusaders on the halfway line. We have us got there. Harris has been very best at it, to go to that side, or if you hear a few stages And there's, as says Mark, and also whoever the Roosters are able to steal the win over the Broncos in the second half. Matildas have a dramatic minute comeback. I did see that they won 2-1 in there as well, which was an interesting one there. And also we have got there, I guess, the Canes will have chances too today, fingers crossed. And also Grady's got vision, but he'll back himself when he knows it's a better option. He scored a double in the winner, or in the win over the Crusaders once, I believe. Also defensively sound. Yeah, his tackle before on Super Reese was brilliant. That has not found touch there from Richie Mo'unga. And Geordie Barrett's actually chested that one. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to take it cleanly, so just let it smack him in the chest. And then from there, did regather it, but Pori Rackety Stones almost giving that ball away to Mitch Drummond. Jackson Garden Bishop just out from the line. Now a good run forward from James O'Reilly. This man's got a good leg drive on him, just like a Safa-Mu, who was originally going to be in the starting lineup for this matchup, but a late change alongside TJ Perenara getting taken out. Also, that was really neat. And then what a kick Mo'unga in there. And do you reckon Weber and Smith are our 9 for the All Blacks this year, says Louis? It's probably Weber, Smith, and if they pick a third, you're probably still going TJ, just because of that experience side of things at international. I'd love to see maybe someone like a Finley Christie, or even, who else have we got who's very young at the moment? Who was I praising the other day as a young up-and-coming fly half? I can't quite think of the name now. Unfortunately, that's a penalty to the Crusaders. That was, unfortunately, I couldn't think of the name. Not unfortunately, it's a Crusaders penalty. But now Finley Brewer's actually got a bit of a shoulder injury by the looks of it, but he should be all right. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Although I will mention quite a few of the benches are reshuffled at this point in time. I know that there's a debut on the bench for the Hurricanes, and also, yeah, I don't push DJP aside. Yeah, so yeah, if they pick 3, I think TJ's in there. And also considering how many days are in a 2 season. And there, as I says, Brandon, it's a very good question. It's a very tricky question that I do not quite know the answer to. But Richie Mo'unga now kicking this one for the touchline. And also we have got there Cortez Ratama, very good player at the moment. Who else we got? There's another youngster. I mean, I know that Xavier Rowe's still a little while off. I think people were talking about Folau Fakatava possibly as an option in the near future as well, once he does get, I guess, cleared to be able to play, which I believe is at about 2023. I'm just trying to think my way through all the sides. Who else is there? It's for one of the sides, and I can't think of him now, unfortunately. Now I'll drive him forward. I know he's not one of the Highlanders because I know that they've got Fakatava and Smith. Chiefs have got Weber and also Xavier Rowe and Cortez Ratama as another option there. Blues have got Finley Christie, Sam Knock. And then there might be one other at the Blues, possibly, but Cody Taylor now going down the wing. Once again, still going to be available here for the Crusaders. Finley Brewis passes it off into the hands of Scott Barrow, who's been relatively quiet throughout the early stages. Tom Christie receiving a nice pass there. Geordie Barrett tries to hold him up. He has wrestled to the ground. Geordie Barrett still got his ankle held by Ethan Black at a little bit of interesting tactics. And would Bryn Hall be an option? Was it Bryn Hall who I was thinking of? Oh, slapped down by Julian Savi. It's gone backwards, though. It is going to be play on. And now it's going to be another big tackle. And the Crusaders have got this ball back, so they continue to just get the phase play going. Now running forward, Finley Christie. No, it's actually Tom Christie, sorry, did have that ball. Everyone's just flying all over the place. This game's being played as if it was the pace of sevens. Breakdowns weren't really very existent for a while there. And also Scotland versus New Zealand Sevens, A&E Tips, Jordan Edmonds from Scotland side had a fantastic start. All 4 tries by himself over Wales. Cloud9 feeling, yeah. Like they were talking about the fact that one of the French players did end up getting himself a hat trick, and then he just went above and beyond, got himself all 4. He's a big unit. I wonder how far off he is from the Scotland Union side, because he does play in the Scottish competition, so perhaps might not be too far away. Michael Gray has said go the Blues in there, and IG Elbows is Finley Christie. And there also says Katie Dixon straight on the ball. It's a turnover for the Hurricanes on the halfway line. It's taken back, though, by Drummond, now passing off to Richie Mo'unga. Havili out to Jordan Reese, now flying down the wing. Great low tackle from Wes Wilson, close to the touchline. Everyone trying to jump on that ball, and the Hurricanes have been able to turn it over. How many turnovers have we had in the first 24 minutes of this game? My clock still says 11, but we will update that. There we go. Does now say the same as the actual clock. And I was against his 100th game tonight. Hopefully it does go all right in that matchup. And also Talfa Funaki is another scrum half for the Blues. And there says Neville. They know the Hurricanes. They've got Richard Judd, Jamie Booth, TJ Perenara. There's another guy as well, isn't there? Can't quite think of him. It's that young guy who plays for... He's pretty smiley at times. I remember in one of the games at the end of last year, he was very happy. He was like rubbing one of the guys' heads on the other team, and then the Hurricanes lost. Who was that? And I was like, sorry, man, 150th man so old. It says Xavier. I mean, 150 is even that much more impressive, isn't it? Anyone want know what time New Zealand's next Sevens game is? I will get that up for you, mate, in a very short moment. And also, did you see the highlights of Connacht versus Leinster? That's a physical game. Both teams play quality rugby. And yeah, that's the thing. Those games are never separated by much now, which I think is brilliant for Connacht because they're just showing that they are right up there as one of those Irish contenders. Like everyone always goes before that game, oh, there's a chance, Leinster by 20 or something like that, but it just doesn't quite work. As Connacht, they just don't get the memo. And they're like, wait, we're just going to go out there and just try and smash them. A little bit of no go the Fijian draw, and can't believe it's 50% for the Canes to win this one, says Daniel Cox. And also we have got there, it's 5:40. So yeah, they have got the game at 5:50 up against Scotland, so 48 minutes time. And then their game after that, I believe, I want to say that they've got one more, and that is going to be at 9:06, and that is their game up against Wales. So yeah, 9:50, 4:50, 5:50, 9:06. Those are the two times, locking them in. And also, there you go, Chiefs. There's Louis there, and that game also coming up there for the Gallagher Chiefs. Does anyone call them the Gallagher Chiefs? Not really. Braden Ennor now only a couple meters short of the line now. Drummond. Well, Jordan, I saw the hand go up. He was waiting for it. Now out to Cullen Grace. Quickly recycle Moonga. Cody Taylor. Quinton Strange goes himself. Steps on the inside, and Quinton Strange scores the try. And also, exactly, I'm so happy that my prediction was way off and the game wasn't lopsided. See Sebastian for that one. Yeah, because I think I had Leinster by 10. I believe. I don't know whether or not I said that one on the live stream, but that was kind of roughly where I was sitting. But yeah, they just always, that's the thing. On paper, you look at Leinster's lineup and you go, yep, they should win this game well. But then Connacht's players, I feel like they're not really, some of them aren't big name players, but they still play like big players, if that makes sense. And I was like, well, what a kick says Lord, and also Jamie Booth or Finley Christie. And there says Tama, and also Yahoo Crusader says Lord, and also Waikato Chiefs, baby. And try says Louis. Yeah, very nicely done by Quinton Strange. And now it is going to be the kicking opportunity for Richie Moonga. Currently closing closer and closer to Crusaders' all-time point scorers. Sitting there on 949. I mean, he's miles above Slade, who was there on 349 or so. And cheers, Crusaders. And also we have got there, we have got Q-Lads. Do you not say all in there as well, says Brandon. I know that I was saying as well quite a bit yesterday. I've probably said it quite a few times on this one too. Currently, the Crusaders supporters, they are loving it. They are in attendance for this game, and also Chiefs mana will be super powerful for the players. Says Mark, it certainly will be. And now Richie Moonga lining up this kick. Taking a deep breath. Next Sevens tournament's actually going to be in Vancouver, for anyone who is wondering about that. And that's going to be very late night. That one's gone out to the side for the Crusaders, and that is going to be unsuccessful for that kick. And also what happened to Richie's penalty kick before, though. And there says Tesla. It just didn't quite hit the boot the way he wanted to, did it? Just kind of bounced. And also Chiefs mana. Oh, no, I read that one. And there was like currently 2 phases. It was all it took for the Crusaders to be able to get themselves over the try line for the second time in this match. But 26 minutes in now, Quinton Strange, the try scorer, takes it. James O'Reilly making the tackle on him. He has fallen underneath the breakdown, though, so he's not really going to be able to roll away this current point in time. Mitch Drummond puts the ball high. It's almost gone backwards there for Mitch Drummond. Nicely taken. It's going back for the initial penalty, and it's going to be the penalty in favour of the Hurricanes from about 25 metres out on the angle. What do they decide? I think Tom Christie was just in front of the kicker for that one. And is there any All Blacks in the Sevens this year? I don't believe so. We've got Joe Weber is probably someone who's kind of, I guess that's the thing. I'm thinking of Bunnings NBC players. So you got Joe Weber, Andrew Newstub, Regan Ware. I think that's about all of the main. Leroy Carter, he is in there as well. But other than that, I'm not too sure. But currently, the game that is about to take place is France versus Fiji, I believe. And that is going to be a very big game for the Flying Fijians. And we'll keep you guys informed on that game as well. But James O'Reilly Now having a bit of crash ball. Adi Savia around the side, using that strength. He's been put onto his back, though. And it's just short of the line. Jamie Booth now around the side. No, that wasn't the option. Whoever that was now, Jamie Booth, you got to fling it wide here. Garden Bishop, cut out pass straight into the hands of Josh Morby. Steps on the inside, puts it down, and Morby scores. And now the Hurricanes get themselves another try in this game. We've had 4 tries already, and we're only in the first half. It was Josh Morby who was able to get himself that try, and that was in the 29th minute. This one's going to be a high-scoring game and a back-and-forth encounter between these two sides. Also, we've got that. Did you know that it's Alex Nankivell's 50th game for the Chiefs tonight, Hamish? I did not know that. So, yeah, it's a big occasion for him, and what a try. So, physical, I love it, says Deza, and also well done for the try. Well done, Canes. And Saturday Sports Traffic, Super Rugby, Sevens, AFL, NRL, and then also the URC later on in the night, and the Champions Cup is coming just around the corner. We are hoping to cover as much of that as physically possible, and pretty much as long as the voice is going, we will be covering as much as we can. I see a Dane Coles there in the crowd. How long is he off from getting to come back? He's alongside actually Reed Prinsep. Wait, if that's Reed Prinsep, who's starting? Oh, it's TK Howden. I think I called him Reed Prinsep earlier. And do you know who has the most tries in a game? It says Xavier. For a Super Rugby game? Xavier or just in general? Do let me know, because I know that Sean Wainui was able to score 5 up against the Waratahs for the Chiefs, but I'm not too sure whether or not that was a record or whether it was tied for the record type thing. Now from the touchline here, it's going to be a good kicking opportunity for Geordie Barrett. That was a yawn. In general, not sure about in general. Also, is Dane Coles injured or in trouble? I think injury, because I'm sure he would have just said the line of, we were just having a bit of fun, mate. And then the referee would have been like, oh, you know, that's all right then. Geordie Barrett, that's a good kick. Straight over, and now the Hurricanes take a 15 points to 12 lead over the Crusaders. This game, it's got everything at the moment. It's got forward scoring, back scoring, fullbacks, both sides have had their fullback score. And also both Katie says Tesla, and also we've got their most tries in the match. The All Blacks, Mark Ellis, scored 6 tries against Japan in 1995. Because how many did Will Jordan get? He got 4, didn't he? In that match for the All Blacks a while ago. And I think that tied for about the 4th. France have just scored a try, ladies and gentlemen. Fiji are in trouble here. Well, so if Fiji want to make it through to the next stage of the quarterfinals, they do need to beat the French. Okay, Hurricanes players off their feet. So scrum feed here for the Crusaders now. Port Rackety Stones. Hawke's Bay representative did end up getting big contact on him by Joe Moody. Then I believe it was James Blackwell. Yeah, he did end up sealing that off a little bit. And also, I love him, but he's a dingbat. And there is Will Jordan got 5 against the USA, I think. And there, 5 or 4. Yeah, it might have been 5, actually. Did he get 4 on one of his earlier games as well? Or 2 on one of his real early one? And also, Judo throws himself into the bin. And there as well. Apparently, Fiji, after a minute and a half of that first half up against France, they are losing 5 points to 0. Now scrum feed for the Crusaders here. 32 minutes has literally flown by for this match. And the best thing is, 2 hours' time, we've got another game of Super Rugby. It is going to be the Blues taking on the Chiefs. Then after that, we have got another game. And also, please only type kind post. And there, as says Mark and also, we've got the how to other Hurricanes backs going. They're going pretty well at this stage. The back line's looking strong. The front row have just collapsed, though, and it's a penalty to the Crusaders now. Yeah, Wes Wilson, he's looking pretty strong throughout the early stages. Josh Morby, I'm liking the way that he keeps on joining up with the line. And then they've got Geordie Barrett in the midfield, which I'm still not sure about. But I feel like if I get to see it a little bit more, maybe it will prove to be the right option. But for now, it seems like they have just got too many fullback options. And he is going to be slotting in there. Good seeing TK Howden getting a crack at super level. Hamish, he does go very well for, I believe he's a Manawatu boy, isn't he? No, from Argentina. Go Canes, says Matthias. Welcome in, mate. And are you also a fan of Sevens by any chance? Is Argentina, I believe they will be making their way through to the quarterfinals for the Sevens competition. A neck minute yellow or red card. Says Louis, there is a good chance that we see some form of card in this game. If history repeats itself, that is, as we did see plenty of them throughout the last little while. I see Fiji have just scored up against France here. Their fixture currently, they've got the penalty advantage only a few meters out from the line here from the Crusaders. In fact, they might have actually avoided the penalty advantage. Now, Ethan Blackadder, it's a good tackle on him. TK Howden just having a bit of a chat with whoever that was who tried to put in the shot on him. Just said, nah, you're not getting that one in. Now David Arvilli, tackled by his opposite number, Geordie Barrett. They've got them really reeling here. Only a metre short of the line for Cody Taylor around the side could be the option. David Arvilli still down again with that injury. Wide cut-out pass from Richie Mo'unga. And George Bridge goes in the corner. And that's going to be the third try of the match for the Crusaders, and also Chess sets Rio game in a high maintenance Ryan. Do you rate TK Howden? He is a very good player. He plays with a lot of physicality. And I think that is perfect for this Hurricanes kind of trio, because normally you have got Reed Prinsep as the option there. But with them out, it does make sense that they bring in another brute force man. And TK Howden is just that. But George Bridge does end up getting himself the try there in the 34th minute. We've had 5 tries in this first half, ladies and gentlemen. And there's still 5 minutes left of it. Also, Fiji just scored against France 7-5. Fiji, 3 minutes left in the first half. They do indeed. Currently now I do see that France have got themselves on the ball. Hopefully Fiji do make it through to the quarterfinals. I'd love to see them in action tomorrow and just see how far they can go. They might even be up against South Africa in the semi, depending on how it's sitting. Now Richie Mo'unga to line up this kick from the touchline. Brutal physical game by these two rivals. There's his mate Joy, and also I says pick him on lover. Welcome into Livestream I, and also I wonder if they go back and check the head tackle. And there says Lord. I think they did decide. I assume the TMO would have had some sort of look at anything if there was foul play involved. But now, another yawn. That's unfortunate. And Johnson nails it for the Warriors last night. Yeah, Golden Point. Gotta love a Golden Point game. I can't watch Golden Point games because I know that anytime I do, the team that I want to win loses. So I was willing to leave that one alone for long enough that we did see that the Warriors won at 5 tries already. Sees mate try exactly right. And that one's missed away to the left-hand side for Richie Mo'unga. So it is 17 points to 15, which you could argue is almost a full-time score. And yours coming in fast, they are. I think it's because I know that I've got like another 14 hours. So that's going to be quite a bit coming up. And also, look at this. Check my sub count, says Shannon. Do let me know. Oh, that's a hard landing for Julian Savia. But he is all right. He's bounced back up. I guess that's the thing. The bus must have insurance because he's just made his way back up to his feet and got himself a new body. Although one and his brother Artie, he'll be going. He does that all the time. He just falls over. And then we pick him up and he keeps on going. And even on Hamilton right now, $9 for the child, $16 for the adults. The Chiefs versus Blues game. A bargain to be able to go and see North Island rivalry between the Blues and the Chiefs. Geordie Barrett get him thrown forward like he was a bowling ball. Now Jamie Booth goes back across. TK Howden got to attack and run from that man. Now back across for Booth. Looks like at the moment Jackson Garland, Bishop and Cody Taylor were playing the game. You know that game in assembly, how it's like you want to be the last kid to clap? They were playing the game if you want to be the last guy to let go of the yellow position's shirt. So they're both standing up slowly going like this, making sure they didn't lose the mental battle between each other. But Booth now goes back to the bus. Now going to be Billy Proctor throws it forward. It's going to be stolen by the Crusaders. In fact, I think they've called it a strip. So because of that, it is going to be play on just for now. In through the side almost there for Tyrell Lomax, but it's an effective turnover there for the Hurricanes. And it's going to be now, it's a mess. I'm playing it as an unplayable, is what Brendan Pickerel says, and it is going to be the scrum feed for the Hurricanes from the US. You're awesome. Very enjoyable to watch this, Robert. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. You being here, and we are going to be back for not just this live stream, but also we are going to have the Chiefs, and also we have got ourselves the Blues, that game later on tonight. And then following that one, Fiji and Drew are taking on the Brumbies, and then some URC action. So there's plenty on for tonight. I'm very excited. 7's tomorrow as well. The voice is going to be pretty much gone by Tuesday, I would think, or Monday, but it'll be all right. We've got a little bit of time to regather it. And it was a good game so far. It's close. And there says the rugby opinion. Yeah. It's looking very good so far. And also drive over to the ocean to watch the game. Says Katie, yeah. There we go. Got them all out of the way. No more coming in this whole live stream. If they do, that would be unfortunate. I was going to look for something. I'll have a drink of water. That will help me out. Currently now scrum feed for the Hurricanes sitting about 30 metres out. Who's that NRL player playing for the Blues? I believe you are talking about Roger Tuolasa-Sheck, currently injured. Unfortunately, did end up getting injured in about a second game of rugby. So now he's back in 2 weeks' time, though. So he's getting there. Same with Akira Ioane actually coming back at a very similar time. Boy, Rackety Stones crash ball him up to the 22-metre line here for the Hurricanes. Crusaders, the last thing they want to do is concede a try right at the end of this first half. Booth now fires it out to Garden Bishop. It was a flat ball to O'Reilly, which was never going to be an easy one to take, but he's done it very nicely. And that's wrestled down by, it was Tom Christie, now going to the right-hand side. Pop pass from, it was once again Garden Bishop, who's completely missed the breakdown. Now going back across into the hands of the Crusaders. They've stolen it, and Hurricanes need to play as a tight team to win this match. And Jordan and Bridge of the Crusaders are hard to stop when they're in form like today. Yeah, that is very true. Anytime they get any form of space, they're gone. You know, like it's a tricky one. And nowadays you got players with such pace that you just pretty much can't catch them. And Severin Reese is definitely one of those players. Will Jordan, he's just too quick. And then also George Bridge. So the back three for the Crusaders going to be tricky. But Josh Morby having some very good cover defense so far by the looks of it. And Ioane Brothers unite. And as I said, Sebastian. And I was looking through pictures of sevens, and I saw that in the side, it was Rico Ioane, Akira Ioane, and Artie Savia all playing in the same sevens team. Imagine having to go up against them. You just leave the field. You just be like, no, I like my career. I don't want it to end now. Thank you. So we just let them have the forfeit win and save ourselves from getting broken in half. And then if it's bad enough having a Kiriwani and Artie Savia on the team, then you've also got Rico to break your ankles when he just steps around you. And no trouble at all now. Linking up once again, Josh Morby. He's been extremely busy. And also we have got there, Chiefs vs Blues should be a good one. And there it says, Ryan, it certainly should be. Ball still available here for the Hurricanes. We are currently sitting at 40 minutes. So as soon as this ball goes out or anything along those lines, it is going to be half-time. Geordie Barrett stepping on the inside, Quinton Strange, and also Ethan Blackadder making the tackle on him. Now Scrafton, another good hard run at the defensive line. But the Crusaders, they don't normally break too easy. Artie Savi, he's got one man on his ankle. He gets lined up. This is going to be an awkward fall for Artie if he's not careful, but he was just not willing to go down to the ground. Geordie Barrett, good attack and run. Tackle by Cullen Grace. Still available. Almost a neck roll there on the ground. So he's done very nicely. Whoever that was to pull out of it has gone backwards for the Hurricanes, currently up to 10 phases as they look for one try before the end of the half. Jamie Booth back to Wes Orson. Now out the back line. James O'Reilly does run it high, but he has an insane leg drive when he gets going for himself. Savia. That was Julian. In fact, TK Howden. Another carry for him. Jamie Booth. Out to Garden Bishop. We're up to 13 phases. Porty Rackety Stones. Good tackle on him by Grace. Can they get through? It just seems like there's no real gaps opening up. Now Garden Bishop, wide cut out pass. Wes Orson decides to step back on the inside. Smart play, as you do not want to get forced into touch. Definitely not right now. Julian Savia almost drops that ball, but instead finds that pop pass up to TK Howden once again. Now they're up to 15 phases here. Garden Bishop goes back across Artie Savia. This one on the 22. What do? They just can't quite get through. Now Proctor goes back. Morby tries to sell the dummy, and Severin Reese makes the tackle. Billy Proctor now once again having to go around the side. The forwards are getting a well and truly good workout. And at the moment, Fiji, they are actually going to score a try and make this game back to even up against France, I do see. Now Booth goes back across Garden Bishop. They just can't get through. It's a deliberate knockdown. At least they've got that advantage. For that one now, Billy Proctor crashes hard at the line. Still going, Billy Proctor finds the offload. It's dropped there, but it's going back for the initial penalty. 20 phases in there for them. And also we have got there, and it's, yeah, I'll just quietly leave this off as well. There's a measure there. And also I'll just go home, no point in trying. And there, and also go, Hurricanes go. And patience come on, boys. Whoever leads the first 10 minutes of the second half will win the game. I think fast-paced rugby match is all I'm for. And also, will we see the card this game? Probably, if anything to go by as last week. Probably quite the chance, but I believe Geordie Barrett will be lining up the three-pointer, and that will put them back to 1 point ahead going into the second half. The crowd in Hamilton right now is amazing. And that's the thing. It's still quite far out from the game. Oh, question for you. Do they have this game up on the screen? Because I feel like that is actually the perfect thing that they should be doing, is having this matchup playing as like a prelim for the game that they're about to see. And also we have got there, come on, Canes, you got this. And also what a run. How many phases? I think they had about, I think it was 21 in the end, which is very impressive, but great defense from the Chiefs. They're not playing. From the Crusaders, 5 tries as fast-paced as we may get. That is very true. Currently, Geordie Barrett going to be lining up this one. Currently, Fiji, they lead their game up against France, 14 points to 12, going into the later stages. Kicked over, Geordie Barrett just sneaks inside of the left-hand upright, and going into halftime now, the score is going to be 17 to the Crusaders, 18 to the Hurricanes. Well, that was a bit of a fast half, wasn't it? 3 tries for the Crusaders, 2 for the Hurricanes. And I think it was exactly what we were expecting. We knew both sides were going to go out firing. I didn't expect 5 tries. I thought we might see, I think I said 4, didn't I? Or I actually said 4 tries per team. So we still got time for that to take place, and also the Canes. And there's our CSK Dixon. But yeah, very fast-paced, very exciting rugby. And hopefully the Blues versus Chiefs game is very similar to that one. If not, I mean, I don't think you can get much quicker, though. I was going to say if not faster, but then players still need to breathe at some point. And any faster than that, you probably don't get much of a chance to do that. But currently, the Highlanders, they were able to win their first game up against Moana Pacifica. The French, they have just scored themselves another try there, I do see. So now they take a little bit more of a lead over Fiji. So we had a 20-point game between the Highlanders and Moana Pacifica. Then we had our next game, 22 points to 21 in favour of the Rebels. This game currently is sitting 18 points to 17 in favour of the Hurricanes. It's certainly going to be a close one. Let's go second half. And also we have got the Hamish, could you please quickly pull up the Chiefs versus Blues squad list? Just Tesla, one moment. We'll go like this, and I will go like this. I just got to quickly, very, very briefly import them. I did make them a little bit earlier on. I'm actually glad that I did, because I was working on the theory there wouldn't be a lot of time in between live streams. It says I've got too many. One moment. We're just going to take away a couple of these. A little bit anticlimactic, but while we have got half time, should be all right. We'll go like this, like this. That should be enough of them cleared. And we'll go boing, boing, boing. Those 3. Okay, they're loading, they're loading. There we go. So that is the Chiefs lineup for that game. And then we will go through the Blues as well. And kia ora, Kiwi lads. Welcome in, Bloxy. Hope you're doing well, mate. I'm watching from Subway in there as well. Says Nod Mum. Was it made just the way you said? Doesn't quite work when you say said rather than say, does it? Made just the way you say. That's the Subway motto, isn't it? The cookies are brilliant. That should be their motto. Subway, the cookies are brilliant, although they eat fresh and eat healthy and whatnot. But, like, you make the best cookies around almost, so you might as well advertise those too. Well, France is making a statement in international rugby, says Lord. They certainly are. And currently in the sevens, they are actually beating the Fijian side. But for how long? It's the big question. 2 minutes left. Fiji are losing this game by a total of 5 points. They've got themselves another penalty inside of the 22, but this is the lineup for the Chiefs. There could be late changes, just like we saw for this game, and then this is the lineup for the Blues. There's a yellow card for France in that one, but currently I will get some stats to do with this matchup for the first half of the match. Match stats, these will be some pretty interesting ones. The tries, we've seen more for the Crusaders, just a few more running meters as well, 192 compared to the 178 of the Hurricanes. Then alongside that, 2 clean breaks for the Crusaders, 1 to the Hurricanes. But then this big stat here is 15 defenders beaten at this stage by the Hurricanes compared to the 8 of the Crusaders. And also we don't pride ourselves in our sandwiches, Subway. And there as well, Fiji have just scored again. They might actually end up sneaking a win at the end of the day. And Barrett and Rico starting, and there as well says, I assume that is how you said that, And there's and Tammy works here in the Subway. This is Cody Dixon. Yeah. Good old sub. Wow, that was a big shot on one of the Fijians. He probably didn't even feel it. It's the thing, they're built differently in Fiji, and hopefully we do get to see them make their way through to the quarterfinals. And we're back to question 1, and I can't wait for the Blues versus Chiefs. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. And not just that, we have also got the game coming up that has taken place between the Brumbies and the Fijian draw. Alongside that game, because of course that's not enough rugby. We've already got the sevens and everything going on, but we need more rugby, and we've got it in the form of the URC, and then the Champions Cup is going on. It was a good all in there. It's Tesla. Currently now waiting for the second half to get underway. All right, I have to go. I'll see you for Chiefs versus Blues. See you then. And there's Ryan, so no worries, mate. We will see you a little bit later on, but currently only the 1 point difference between these two sides. And hello, says Johan. Welcome in, mate. Close game on the cards here for the second half. And also anyone wondering, Scotland versus New Zealand, that will be kicking off in 25 minutes time. We will keep you updated on what is happening in that game. If New Zealand win it, they have almost guaranteed themselves a spot in the sevens. Currently France, they are trying to get themselves a try. If they score now, they would win this game against Fiji. If they don't score now, it would mean that possibly Fiji can get themselves towards the quarterfinals in the sevens. Currently still hanging on to that one quite nicely. It's actually not a bad temperature here in New Zealand at the moment. I think it's quite nice, quite far throughout the crown. And Fiji have won, ladies and gentlemen, 26 points to 19. Their track is back going upwards. They're back on track. That's what I was trying to say. But halftime in this game, Dupisi Karefi and Josh Morby, the 2 try scorers for the Hurricanes. And then from there, the Crusaders, they were able to get Will Jordan's try, Quinton Stranger's try, and then George Bridget disaster has just occurred. The coffee is all over the floor. Uh-oh. What color is the carpet, Sebastian? Because I feel like that is the other big one. If it's in your kitchen and you've got like vinyl, it's still not ideal, but it's not as bad, you know? But if it's on like white carpet, time to paint the whole carpet brown. And I was like, liquid coffee or ground coffee? It's ground coffee now. And there's us. I feel like even though Sebastian, he's having a tough moment, he'll still enjoy that little pun thrown in there. And I'll be back, guys. Quick smoke. There's his Tesla, so we'll see you later on. Yep, Hamish can help charge the Hurricanes machine. And there it says Mark. And currently it's going to be a big day for the guys who come off the bench. Like I mentioned, Noah Safamoa for this game. Okay. Like, what are they on about? Oh, no, they said Safamoa, he was out. Sorry, I got confused there. I was like, that's James O'Reilly, mate. He's been out there the whole time. And I was on Sebastian, I'm at, and there's, because it's on the ground. I think he got it. I think he might have gotten it. I love myself some coffee humour. Says Sebastian there as well. Currently, it was a great backline movement from both sides for their first tries of the match, and both of them involving someone in that loose forward trio. Currently, Geordie Barrett just missing the 1 kick for his conversions. Richie Mo'unga actually missing the 2, so there's a few points that have been left out there on the field. They do need to make sure that they are clinical in the second half for both of these two sides, as 1 point could be the difference, like you can see there, after just the first half. But nonetheless, we're getting close to the second half. These two sides, they will be playing next week as well. And the two sides that they have got, I will let you know exactly what it's going to be. In fact, the Hurricanes have got a game only in a couple of days' time, and that will be up against Moana Pacifica. And that will be part of round 8, but it's actually a game that they're making up from a little while ago. So Tuesday at 7:05 p.m., that is the game that we will be covering. Then from there, the Hurricanes have got a game up against the Highlanders. Moana Pacifica have got a game up against the Chiefs. Those games both taking place on the 16th of April. Earlier game for the Chiefs, Moana Pacifica, 4:35. And then the Highlanders Hurricanes game will be one at 7:05. I just blame Pat Cummins there as well. It's a good way of doing it. It's always Pat Cummins' fault. And when it's not his fault, who's the other guy that gets blamed for everything? There's another, is it an Australian rugby player? No, I've forgotten it now. It's a bit anticlimactic, isn't it? I couldn't quite remember who it was. I mean, I know Tim Payne got blamed for quite a bit of stuff, but a lot of that he did, didn't he? Whoopsies. Just loves that man's... I wonder what phone he... No, never mind. At the moment, about to be kicking off here, Ireland, and they have got another game of the sevens. And then it is going to be up against, I'm just going to let you guys know exactly who that will be. And it is going to be the game up against Japan. But currently for the Super W, for anyone wondering about that, the second half is underway for women's Waratahs versus Reds Waratahs. The Waratahs are winning 27-0, which is huge for themselves in that game. They were actually undefeated up until, they've just gone up to 32-0. They just scored again. It also came for the win, says Jason. Well, that one. And the Fijian draw women's side, they are playing the Brumbies at 7:15. We'll keep you updated with that game also. And there is a game of the NRL currently going on, the Melbourne Storm up against the Canberra Raiders, I believe it is. A nice early try for Ireland by Terry Kennedy. I think I called him Ed Kennedy earlier on. Who's Ed Kennedy? I think he's actually in a Ford pack or someone, isn't he? And we're in for the Chiefs today. Hopefully, able to get the W. Says Ed, I've got the big decision to make. Do I wear the Chiefs kit or do I not wear it? See whether or not it does have magical powers. Because they win 90% of the games that I wear it. But then saying that, I want to test the theory. If I don't wear it, will they still win? If I do wear it too many times, will that kind of run out of luck for them? Those are all the big questions on the mind. A game at FMG Stadium in front of a crowd will be pretty awesome for them to be able to really feel that atmosphere. And now that we've got the games or kind of the crowd back, in New Zealand. It just makes it feel that much more special. Well, what a pace in the first half. 5 tries and close scores. Hamish, do you honestly think the two teams can maintain this pace? Probably not. I want to say they'll do it to about 60, but then the good news is, as soon as it gets to the 60, they just get to refresh their legs by having the reserves come back out. And also, we've got which sevens games are you going to stream again later on? So later on, unfortunately, I don't actually think we've got any more sevens tonight, just because they don't really work out with the Super Rugby times. But I can tell you that tomorrow we're going to be live for a majority of the games that are taking place for the sevens, like all the quarterfinals, all the semi-finals, the final as well, and then those 5th, 8th playoff, 9th playoff, 11th playoff maybe as well. We're going to be doing all of those games on the channel. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you do love your sevens. Speaking of sevens, Japan's just scored. They've done very nicely for themselves. I'm just going to have a look and see what game there is on. So after this game, it would probably be, if I did get to squeeze in a game, it would be England-Samoa, but I haven't actually got that one prepared, unfortunately. So that's probably a little bit of a downfall on my part. But depending on how long it takes to get it prepared, maybe we do try and squeeze in that one at 6:34. Although the problem with that is it doesn't leave me a lot of time in between live streams to be able to, I guess, eat food and drink and whatnot. Cheers. There we go. Liquid has been consumed. We're going to be doing a lot of that today, as we have still got another 12 hours or so of a rugby action. This ad break is quite long at the moment, but hopefully they do get back to the rugby in a very short moment, because this first half flew by. I don't think we really had too many stoppages at all. It went for about an hour, or actually under an hour, about 50 minutes or so. But yeah, it was very fast-paced and hydration and afternoon, says Mr. JJ. And there's our welcome, and mate. Hope you are doing well. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who you're picking for the Blues versus Chiefs game that is taking place a little bit later on tonight. And then also Fiji and Drua versus Brumbies. That is going to be another one that will be one to keep a close eye on for the next little while. But currently they are showing an ad for boots and an ad for a ute. So I guess hopefully the game's coming back relatively soon. That's the thing. Halftime breaks in a close game always take longer, I've learned. Storm leading 18-2 against the Raiders so far in the first half. Yeah, very good start to the match for them. And also, I should mention Scotland versus New Zealand taking place in only 16 minutes' time. And then after that, it is going to be Argentina, Wales, followed by England, Samoa, Australia, Spain. And then the last game of the night is actually South Africa versus Kenya. That's a lie. They've still got more rounds later on tonight. And that is going to be South Africa, USA, actually, as the last game that they are going to be having. Dominic Bird, he is away with an injury, although he has got his children with him at the ground by the looks of it. And currently now just waiting for the second half. We're almost underway. Chiefs 100%. And as well says Mr. JJ, so very confident in that one. But yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be an extremely intense contest just like this one. How at halftime, it's going to be less than 5 separating them, or maybe just the 5. And then from there, the second half, it will go down to the wire. Who knows? Maybe we get to see another golden point game. Would be pretty awesome to see. We're currently only 2 weeks away from the Super Round, which is taking place in Melbourne, and that will be where we see multiple games taking place in a row. Currently, I should actually mention as well, if Ireland lose to Japan here, there's a chance that it could be France and Fiji actually who make their way through to the next stage. Like they're saying, the coaching staff is saying it's been a very exciting game. It's been the best player so far, says Danny. For me, I'm going to say, if I had to pick a Crusaders player, I would probably give it to... Who would I give it to? I mean, Tom Christie has been looking pretty good. Gone in a couple real important turnovers, but then Will Jordan out the back been looking very strong also. And then alongside them, I will go Hurricanes. I've got to give it to Josh Morby. He's been very impressive throughout the early stages, getting himself a try and also really joining the line nicely. It's going to be a huge forward battle. And then, yeah, Sam Cane versus Dalton Pavali will kind of be that slightly older generation versus the young generation of open side flanker. And at the moment, Tamaiti Williams, he is out on the field. That is actually replacing Finley Brewis, who was holding his shoulder at the end of the first half. So I believe it could be something to do with that, maybe not wanting to risk him. And that is the only change that the Crusaders have made. I believe The Hurricanes at this stage are completely unchanged. At the moment, James O'Reilly, he's had a very good first game out there currently. He wasn't initially going to be in the starting lineup. It wasn't still going to be a Safa Moa, but a late change. Alongside that late change, TJ Perenara also out late. So Jamie Booth only a little bit before kickoff. They pretty much were like, right, we know you weren't actually in the squad at all, but you're starting. So go get changed, get ready to go. And he would have been like, be all right, fair enough. Got to do what I got to do. Currently going up. Will Jordan taking that one nicely. Cullen Grace. And the big hit at Billy Proctor, who has tried to drive him backwards, has ended up underneath the breakdown. He's out. There's the ball. As a call from Brennan Pickerel. It was also a late change in this match. They actually had to change the referee just before kickoff. That's another try for Ireland. So I think that thing that I mentioned about Fiji and France being the two sides going through, I think more than likely France and Fiji are jockeying for the one spot. Apparently now still going to be just available in favour of the Crusaders. Knock on from Mitch Drummond trying to jump on the ball. Oh, well, that was almost stolen in the breakdown. Mitch Drummond, he was unfortunately just cleaned out late after he got the ball up from the breakdown. Whoa. Hurricanes have a 100% win rate when leading at halftime versus the Crusaders. 8 from 8. If that's anything to go on, come on, Sam. And could be a duty brick when he needs to be plays to keep the forward momentum in there. So here's Mr. JJ. So yeah, it's going to be one of those ones that Dalton, like he's going to have to really muscle up in this game. But I think he enjoys that challenging side of getting in like that physical battle in a breakdown. So I think it's going to be one of those games that we probably see him shine as well. And Go Canes are now walking to the stadium. Says no mum, and TJ Perenara has a little back injury before halftime. As well says Jason. Currently now it's a big feed from the scrum. Now the bus, Julian Savia, missed tackle from George Bridge. Savia somehow still stays in the field of play. Now his brother Artie has got that ball. Leg drives coming thick and fast for the Savia brothers. Going to be now available. Jamie Booth across to James O'Reilly. Garden bash and flat ball to Geordie Barrett. It's been tackled well 5 metres out from the line. It was Tom Christie. Was able to make that one. They've got numbers on the outside. Garden Basham now out to Proctor. Almost found the offload. Was unable to do so. Booth firing it back across. Now Howden. Geordie Barrett attack and run. The one thing that I have noticed with the Crusaders defence, and I think it stumps the defence quite drastically, is the fact that they have one man rush up and then the other man does stay back just a little bit more. That's going to be Julian Savia. It's stolen in the breakdown, but it's going to be the penalty in favour of the Hurricanes. Before game. And also, don't you start yawning. Few hours to go, mate, says Mr. JJ. Yeah, last live stream is in 13 hours' time, or roughly. That will be when that is finishing. Just walk past 2 Blues supporters. And as well says Nov Mum. So Geordie Barrow wants to take the quick tap here. No, never mind. They want to go for the corner. Do they? No, they're taking on the shot. They'll have a 4-point lead if they do get this one over for Geordie Barrett. But yeah, the last live stream, if we do end up doing the game between the Exeter Chiefs and Munster, that will be ending at 6:30 a.m. So we have still got a long night ahead of us. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. See if we do make it through our rugby gauntlet. If not, you'll probably end up tuning in for one of those late night live streams and I will just be passed out on my chair. And that would be unfortunate. But yeah, might happen. Who knows? Stay tuned. I feel like that's not really an exciting cliffhanger, is it? Stay tuned to see whether or not I fall asleep. This doesn't quite have the same ring as like, stay tuned to see me smash 20 cans over my head. Like that would do better. And should have went for the try, Geordie. And then also is what it is. And there says Mr. JJ. Currently now Geordie Barrett lining this one up. He's got some heavy strapping on that left thigh. The ball's fallen over. Windy Wellington. I don't expect too much else. I think the referee's about to tell him to hurry up. I think someone's going to have to hold that ball for Geordie. Where's Austin? He does the eyebrows and goes, I wonder why that ball fell off. Currently lining up this ball now. Geordie Barrett, 44 minutes into this game. This will give the Hurricanes a 4-point lead. If it goes over, that is. Lining it up. Strikes it nicely, Geordie Barrett, and it's over. So now the score is going to be extended to 21 points to 17 now. And also, did you get another cup of coffee? And also, TJ will hold it And there as well says Mr. JJ, and also brewing as we speak, says Sebastian. So, yeah, was it on like some nice floor or was it like some carpet? And I feel like carpet is a tricky one, isn't it? Let's take a nice by Where's Horson once again trying to drive his way straight through a gap. Almost stolen by Tamaiti Williams. He does get the penalty for the Crusaders. And with a 4-point difference, I think they might consider kicking for the corner. Crusaders are third place on the standings. The Hurricanes sixth place. Win would throw the Super Rugby competition open. Go Hurricanes. And there says MH Joy. Yeah, currently, as we do speak, Hurricanes, they are sitting there on 8 on 10 points, but they have got a couple games in hand, remember. So they will be able to slowly build themselves up. Definitely with that game coming up against Moana Pacifica, who are sitting there currently in 12th. Fiji and draw, I feel like 11th for them is pretty harsh. The moment the way that they've played pretty well. I know that they've lost 6 games, but a few of those games have been pretty close. So if they get themselves a win over the Brumbies, or they were actually the only team who were undefeated until last week when they were beaten. And that was actually beaten by the Reds. And the Reds, their only loss was to the Brumbies. So it's kind of a weird, I guess, seesaw battle between those two sides. Currently only a couple of meters out from the line now. Crusaders waiting for it. Ethan Blackadder, out he goes, and he scores the try. Ethan Blackadder in the 45th. And that is going to be a very, I call it a good try. But I think they're going to be checking this one straight away. And a weird love triangle. And then how do you like your eggs, guys? I enjoy a fried egg, I think, is my best option. And also, I missed the carpet. Just some wet wipes did the job. And also, I like them on toasted. And there's Sebastian. And also, we have got there the cheese are just warming up. And also, fried on a pile with fries / chips. Eggs and chips, very nice combo. I remember I used to have sausages, eggs, and chips. Right. I think they're going upstairs to check something here. And they've said it's fine. And Ethan Blackadder, he does end up scoring himself the try there. Blackadder. Here we go. One's gone over. Now 46 minutes through. Ethan Blackadder been able to do very nicely. Like they're saying, it was just a little bit of a weak little moment for them there. And also we've got the 2K to keep the smiling. And also we've got the I'm going to the Hurricanes vs Moana Pacifica game next week. Awesome. Well, yes, and also we've got the CRUSADERS. And there's Lord as well. Currently now about to kick this one off here for Jackson Gunn and Bishop. It's nice and high. Almost taken, not quite cleanly though. And now it's going to be back in the hands of Cullen Grace. Mitch Drummond in the pocket. Now Richie Moonga. Some good distance on that ball. Straight into the hands of Geordie Barrett now. And he is looking for the counter attack. It's a good kick in behind. It could be. Yes, it is a 50-22. Good kick. Eggs and a Kiwi burger. Yummy. And there, as I says, Law, but that is a good kick in behind from Geordie Barrett. He saw the space. He made the most of it. And it is a very brilliant 50-22. Kept it extremely low and also just allowed it to drift around. Currently 6 minutes till Scotland play New Zealand, ladies and gentlemen. So we will keep you guys informed of what's happening in that game currently. Ireland versus Japan, 21 points to 7 in that one. And England versus Samoa, that is sitting 40, or in fact 50 minutes away. We're not too sure whether or not we will have time to be able to set that one up. Hopefully we do, though. And also Geordie Beauty. And there says there's a good run forward from TK Howden, who has had a pretty good debut so far for the Hurricanes. Close to the touchline, it was Artie Savi. He must have been inches from stepping into touch there. Wrestled down by Will Jordan. You just got to tie up those legs for long enough that he does end up falling. Yeah. Gypsy Karefi asking the question of whether or not there was a little bit of obstruction. It's going to be the knock-on advantage now to the Crusaders. Bounce pass. The hands of Will Jordan puts it up high. And now taken nicely on the halfway line by Josh Morby. Geordie Barrett once again wants the 50-22. Isn't going to get it this time. And it is, it's a juggle there from George Bridge at the back. Kicks it way downfield, but it's going to be the scrum feed now for the Hurricanes. And Bubblegum Kush, lovely between paper. And there's us, says Mr. JJ. And also we've got there, I end up beating Canada, or beating Canada plus 29 and won this on the sevens, says Reggie Rock there. Congratulations there. It was quite close to that score, wasn't it? I think in the end, 31 points to 35. So relatively close, but you did manage to get it done. So nicely done. Now in Canada, they actually played pretty well in the first kind of few moments. They actually scored the first try of the match. George Bridge just ended up dropping it. He knew straight away when he dropped it that could be a costly moment in this game. Definitely with how far back-to-back they were going. Like you either enjoy the game next week. And there as well says Jason. Says Email Short. Choose Jason there. Okay. They have made a sub. I believe that is Devon Flanders now who has come out onto the field, and that is replacing TK Howden. But TJ Perenata, he's got his hoodie on in the background there, and that was due to that back injury by the sounds of it before the game did get underway, which is never what you want. Of course, back injuries are bad enough as they are, let alone just before you're supposed to go out onto the field, play a game of Super Rugby up against some very physical players. As I know, George, I got those All Black game hands, and there as well says Josh Thornton also come on, Canes. And there says Daisy, that was a bit of pre-engagement, and it's going to be the free kick now for the Hurricanes, and do the Chiefs kick off at 7:05? They sure do. So, yeah, 7:05 p.m. is when that game will be kicking off. We will be starting our live stream at about 7 o'clock or somewhere around there. Currently, I believe the Irish are actually going very nicely for themselves here, now scoring another try. So they are just extending that lead a little bit more over the top of Japan. Currently now 50 minutes into this game and only 3 points difference. So Tamaiti Williams, the only sub that they have made off their bench for the Crusaders. They've got Ricky Jackson there who will get a good opportunity. That is due to Brody McAllister, and also they haven't got Shiloh Klein. He was suspended last week or the week before due to a shoulder charge. So he did end up picking up 3 weeks. And sweet, I'll piss you off then in there, says Mr. JJ. And there's we have got that one coming up very soon. I'm looking forward to it. And Richie missed the conversion. And there's us here's Ed. And also we have got there, Daisy said, bro, shut the FRP. And there's cheers. They are only 51 minutes through. At this stage, Jamie Booth passes it back across to Garden. Bash up little grubber of mine from Geordie Barra Moonga inside of its own goal area. Does work his way out to 10 metres out now. Geordie Barrett able to wrestle him down. They could have taken the goal line drop out, deciding against it though for the Crusaders. They get themselves the penalty instead. So that's actually the best case scenario in that situation. And also thanks, MH Choi. And there, as I says, Jason, but currently now I believe Richie Moonga will be kicking this one for the touchline. But you've got to have a lot of confidence in there. And who's with the Canes? And there, as I says, Daisy. At this stage, I think we've got quite an even split of Hurricane supporters and Crusader supporters in the chat. And currently now, it is going to be just a few meters out. Geordie Barrett, he went for that grubber. I think Richie Moonga wasn't sure whether or not he did take it back, which is why he decided to try and run it out instead. And did end up getting taken down. Okay, Mitchell Drummond off the field. Bryn Hall now making his way out there. I believe Teitaro Tahuri Orengi won't be too far off getting another opportunity for halfback. Cullen Gray's taking it quite nicely. I think everyone that's not a Crusader supporter, Daisy, we want to see a new champion. And there's us, Sebastian. Yeah, it would be pretty awesome to see someone dethrone the champs. It's gone straight up from Bryn Hall, maybe about 3 meters on that kick. Severese has gone through his hand, step back onto the side of Geordie Barrett now. The Hurricanes have got this one back, pop pass after James O'Reilly. The Canes, they're looking strong. Just outside of the 22, Artie Savio also busting through 1 or 2 tackles. Still going to be there for them. Jamie Booth what did Jamie Booth do there? He kind of threw the ball straight forward and tried to say that it hit someone's foot, but he was the one who threw it into him. Severese making a tackle there on Wes Hulson. The advantage is now over for the knock-on that was playing the hand of the ball. No, they're going to say it's all right. Now that man's had it knocked out of his hands, and now it's going to be going back for the scrum feed in favour of the Crusaders. And come on, boys. And Daisy Chain has spoken. And there as well says it was Katie Dixon. Okay, Jordan Conroy's celebrations are quite interesting. And the sevens, he seems to do a little bit of a tango every time that his side or he scores a try. But that is now going to be full-time in that game between Ireland and Japan. And the score is 38 points to 7. But they are starting to fall a little bit behind in the sevens circuit. So we will have to wait and see whether or not they do get it done in time. But currently the Fiji and Roar, they will be taking on the Brumbies as their game later on tonight. That is the last game of Super Rugby for round 8. But then before that game, we have got the game that has taken place between the Chiefs and the Blues, which should also be a pretty awesome one indeed. But now Artie Savia looks like he is just getting a little bit of medical attention. Joe Moody, and also it is George Bauer. They are the two that are interchanging. So Moody off, Bauer on. And also, hard done by Canes as well. And this is Lord and also the Chiefs are Super Rugby's England. I think they almost are. Probably, I guess you could say, people who go for them. But then the people who don't want them to win really don't want them to win type thing. So I guess as close as you could get to because I guess Saracens is also slightly like another team that I can think of that like some people love, some people hate. But of course, they are actually in England. Whereas I think that's a good analogy, I think. Currently, New Zealand in their white kit for their game up against Scotland there, and also Canes intercept 50-metre try to win the game. JT could be a possibility. Although I will mention there's also a possibility that it could be an interception thrown pass from the Canes that gets the Crusaders a 50-metre try. I actually remember that same scenario in the game. I think it was Wellington versus Canterbury, and Jackson Garner-Bishop threw that big wide interception pass. It got stolen, and the Canterbury side actually won it at the right at the end of the game. What's a super specific, or what a super specific. It is very specific, isn't it? I'm going to be the penalty now to the Hurricanes, and also with the exception that they actually win something. And that's our exhibition, and also which Canes player to score the next try. We'll go Wes Wilson. We haven't really seen a huge amount of him in this second half so far, but I'll say Wes Wilson gets it. Either that or James O'Reilly, because he's been looking pretty good throughout his early stages of the game also. Now Geordie Barrett lining up this ball, and he is kicking that one into touch. Some decent distance on it, just inside of the half now with the Crusaders, and they will have themselves the line out. Also, we've got there Auckland plus England, and there, as I says, Lord. Okay, so they said that George Bauer dropped his knee and at that line up, and now Geordie Barrett takes it nicely, crashing into Severese. He's been very much so embracing that inside centre role of just literally hitting it up at the line as hard as you physically can. I think Scotland might have just scored up against the Kiwis in the first 12 seconds. Jamie Booth, though, trying to link up on the outside. It goes over the head of James O'Reilly. Jamie Farndale just made the Kiwis look a little bit ordinary at the sevens. And also James O'Reilly has been my MVP. He's been going very nicely. Savia and Artie. And there says Daisy. That seems like we've got a couple Savia support or Savia. Louis, are you saying Julian or Artie? Do let me know. And also we have got there, he's like Bill Tefferin, or Tenon, sorry, from Back to the Future too. He has all the sports answers in the sports almanac. And there's us, Katie Dixon now passing it back across field. Tyrell Lomax. Oh, okay, that's bad for Quinton Strange. I think his knee or his ankle or calf has just given out. He literally collapsed. I think it's the calf muscle. This could be a season-ending injury here for Quinton Strange. They're playing with 14 at the moment for the Crusaders. Hurricanes trying to make the most of it here. Ball's being stripped. They've got themselves a 3-on-2 out on this near side. Whainā Nuku actually out on the field. I believe that would be for George Bridge. Short ball into the hands. That's slapped down by James Blackwell. Was it deliberate? It was. And it is going to be the penalty now to the Crusaders. And also we have got there Julian. But they want to go the Crusaders. And also we have got there, I got to go for dinner. I see you later. As I said, Betty Wagon, see you later, mate. And Raiders 18-8 at halftime for the Storm. Then Swans 40, Kangaroos 37. Okay. Quinton Strange does not look good at the moment, unfortunately. I think it was right when he tried to accelerate. I think he either overextended the calf. He looks like he's in a lot of discomfort, though. It is that right calf. And we're just going to see him here. Yeah or no. That's not good. He tried to leap forward, and it literally just stopped, and he had to pretty much jump up so that he could land on the ground. But I think that calf was seriously damaged, and I'm going for the Canes, and it's TJ on the field. He is not. He actually got taken out of the lineup just before the match started due to a back injury. And we've got Dinner Brother, and there's our, and no injury. So Zach Gallagher, he is going to be making his way out there, but that looks like Quinton Strange will not be returning for this game and possibly for the rest of the season. Hopefully he is all right, though, because they've got Sam Whitelock out at the moment. That is due to a calf. No, not a calf. Sorry, he broke his finger, and he's going to be back within a little while, which is just insane because of how strong that man's fingers are at kind of rebuilding themselves. But it works, you know. Currently, we are just quickly going like this. I'm just looking at the position because these two sides been very evenly matched, I thought, throughout this one. Yeah, the stats are interesting for this game because it seems like it could be anyone's game, and it literally could be. Oh, Quinton Strange. He's having to make his way off there. I wish they put him on a stretcher instead because this is going to be a long walk back to the changing sheds for him to be able to get all the way there. There you go. And also, sorry, yeah, calf muscles take a long time to recover. Yeah, that's like 9 months for Quinton Strange. If he has done as bad of a job to it as I think that he he's going to be out for not just this season, but possibly some of the next season as well. And he will miss the whole Bunnings NBC, which will be a big hit in the end for the Tasman side. But now driving forward, yeah, there's someone else down. Who's that now? James O'Reilly, I think, has broken one of his fingers, possibly. This game just goes from bad to worse. Everyone's getting injured. Currently now, Richie Moonga goes to Braden Eno. James O'Reilly, he's back up on his feet. He doesn't look like he's completely happy, though, at the moment. He's going to have to almost make a tackle here. Thought about getting in the breakdown, decides against it in the end. Nah, he's collapsed. Okay, so his knee might be playing up James O'Reilly. I have no idea what injury it is here for him now. They're going back for the penalty to the Crusaders. Double blow on the whistle. It's about the fourth one they have said, so there's a chance that someone could end up going to the bin very, very soon here. Okay, it's the third knock on for this game, but James O'Reilly staying down. Julian Savia, strategically staying near the trainer because he will have to drink bottles and you will be able to get yourself refreshed while your teammate pretty much gets unbroken. This is the best way of describing it. But currently New Zealand in the game up against Scotland, they are sitting 7 points to 5 down. At that stage, players dropping everywhere. And I thought the Irish game last night was physical. Yeah, I mean, Duplessis Karefi's now doing some stretches to get the cramp out of his leg. James O'Reilly, I think he just may have gotten a stinger on the shoulder or something along those lines. And, of course, the one thing that you don't want is when you've got some sort of the medic. That's the thing. They go, where does it hurt? And you go, it's just right there. And they're like, right there. And they just push it as hard as they can. And you're like, yep, that's the one. That's the one right there where you've just literally pushed it back into place. And yesterday game, Hurricane 6th place. I went over Crusaders 3rd would throw the Super Rugby competition open. Although the Hurricanes, they are sitting in 8th, but they will move up to 7th if they do end up winning this game. Crusaders kicking it for the corner, though. Richie Moonga wants to play aggressive here. 15 metres out. It will be another line out for the Crusaders. Cody Taylor here, going to be important. And games heading up already with a totally different Canes team from their last outing. And there, as I said, Sammy Sosa, yeah. And that's the thing, losing Perenara so close to kickoff. And then also losing Asafa Moore was another big one. He nicely taken in the end by Cullen Grace. In the line out, he did have quite a bit of pressure on him. David Havili, bit of crash ball. He has been dragged down by Duplessis Karefi. Little knock on the ground there from the Crusaders and the Hurricanes here. They have got the advantage, but I believe they will be kicking this one downfield. Yes, they do. Geordie Barrett kicks it. Gone straight out on the full, so it is going to be going back for the initial scrum. Geordie Barrett, he's been impressive in this game. Like, that was his big hit on Havili that then created that little bit of hesitation to put the ball down. Okay, Billy Proctor's coming off the field, and Balin Sullivan, he was actually one of the stars in an earlier game for them. Been playing very nicely. I believe, was he in that game up against the Blues that they did end up winning in the end? I think he might have been. I think he was the match winner as he was able to fend off. Actually, Roger Tulasashek was the player that he did fend off. But matches, he's only had 5 in 2022. Massive opportunity for the youngster to try and really build himself. And I wonder if we'll ever see both Sullivan brothers or both Umunga Jensen brothers in the All Blacks. That's probably the big question. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, do you think we will see the pair of brothers for either of those two in the All Blacks anytime in the future at the same time, or maybe one of the individuals in that list that I did mention? Jamie Booth kicks it downfield. Nicely done. Will Jordan unable to regather it. Now from halfway, it is going to be the line out. And where's Roger Tuivasa-Sheck? He did end up getting injured, unfortunately, in his second game, but he is returning in about 2 or 3 weeks. He is going to be back alongside Akira Ioane. So when the Blues do have him back, we are still going to be here and we are still going to be covering those games. I'm excited to see him back in action, to see how he goes after that injury. Currently, Lester Fainanoku bouncing back up to his feet on the halfway line currently. Cullen Grace, Richie Moonga now out to Reese. Kicks it in behind Will Jordan. When that man's in a foot race, you know it's going to be danger. He actually misses the kick, but now it's going to be popping out the side. I think there was a little half knock on by the Hurricanes. Now Cullen Grace gives it off to Barrett. Backline movement, no. Wrong option there from Mighty Williams. You needed to spread that one long. And Devon Flanders was able to make the tackle on him. Now Braden Orr receives that lower pass. Let's sell the dummy to Ethan Black at a close to a turnover here for the Hurricanes. No, it's still available for the Crusaders on the ground. It's going to be nicely taken by David Havili, trying to pierce his way pretty much straight through where that breakdown just was, which was not successful for him. And now Tom Christie, ball on the outside. Cody Taylor pops it. Sever Reese drops it. Wilson is going to be a foot race. And that man is quick, but Will Jordan is just a little bit quicker, but perfect support run from Jackson Garden Bishop. Does help himself get right on there around the side. James O'Reilly, the Crusaders, being ruthless. They're going to steal this one in the breakdown. They've got the turnover. Now, Lester Whainanōku once again get him fired up to try and go straight through. And also, come on, one more try for the Canes. And then we'll be back up there. So, yeah, literally one try could be the difference maker in this matchup. That's going to be a big run forward now from Julian Savia. The bus decides to go for the kick and behind. And not only that, he's going to get the 50-22. Julian Savia, he doesn't kick very often, but maybe he should a little bit more. I don't even know if he realises what that means. Oh, yeah, no, he gets a high five. He wasn't even smiling or anything. I would have thought he'd be loving it. That one, and I was like, go the Canes, Julian, what a kick. And Whainanōku, we're in the All Blacks in 2022, Hamish. And there's his Manly for life, and come on, Hurricanes, make it 40. And I think San will come after the World Cup, and Balin 2023, and Peter 2022, and Thomas 2022. And there as well says Jason, but that is two 50-22s here for the Hurricanes so far throughout their games. So that is very impressive. And Wales says, Lord, yeah, brilliant kick from Julian Savia. Now Artie Savia claims it in the line out. And they start to march forward 50-22. Says Sebastian there. They have been told to use it once. Waiting for it is Cam Roigard as the replacement. Hang on, Roigard, was he the initial replacement? Julian Savia right near the touchline. Think he was almost forced into touch, but they have said that he was still in the field of play to Vera Mafaleo. In fact, that was Sione Mafaleo. They have that ball now. Duplessis Karifi goes back to Geordie Barrett. Good tackle on him by the Crusaders, just stopping them in their tracks. Now pop pass from Roigard off to Connor Garden-Bishop. Good fend. Ball on the outside to Josh Morby. They're shutting them down very well, though, for the Crusaders, trying to get this turnover as quickly as possible. Duplessis Karifi's dropped the ball, and that is the turnover that they're after. And Julian, a bloody tank man. And then also we've got the Hamish will help the Hurricanes get more increase. And a 40-20 not bad in there, says Timmy Souza for that one, and Julian kick. And there's it was a very impressive one from him. And then a good run down the wing. Ran straight at Richie Moanga. Somehow kept himself in the field of play. He was marked up by about three different men and still stayed in the field of play. But currently in the sevens, it is actually halftime. Scotland beating the All Blacks 7-5. We'll keep you updated on that one. And also we have got there Alisa Whainanōku, Peter Gasoakola, Stephen Perifeta could be the All Blacks. And then, I'm looking forward to seeing if Perifeta makes it, because I think he is certainly just a huge potential, because he can play fullback and he can also play fly half. And also we have got there how far up the field are they? They will now have the scrum feed only 10 metres out from their own line here, the Crusaders, due to that knock-on, I should say. Only the Crusaders, if they win this game, they will be top of the table in Super Rugby up until the Brumbies have their game laid up against the Draw. And if they do win that game, the Brumbies, they will go back to first. Whainanōku each for the All Blacks and Samoa, I assume, since there's two of them. And there as well, says Sammy Souza. And also we've got there, go Canes, says Max Cotton. Yeah, currently a very close game between the two sides. Only 3 points does split them. And 17 minutes left in this one. So still enough time for both sides to have one last, maybe two last little moments in this game. Jamie Booth, I think his legs hurt a little bit. He's doing the stretches. He put in a shift out there on the field. He probably wasn't prepared to come into this match. He's getting some Powerade for him. Oh, no, he's tipped it down himself. That's going to stain your nice yellow shirt, mate. Although, to be fair, he's probably not the one who has to clean it. So he's like, no worries, I get a clean one next week anyway. Only 3 points difference between the Hurricanes and the Crusaders. 2 points difference between New Zealand and Scotland. And that is actually taking place for the sevens in Singapore. And who do you go for? Says Daisy. I am pretty impartial when it comes to New Zealand sides overall. I live halfway in between two of the sides in the South Island, so I don't really have a favourite. I just love watching all the teams. I do enjoy the Hurricanes kit the most out of anyone, though, which is why I'm quite sad that Jamie Booth did end up getting his Powerade. And could we see Golden Point? There's a chance if the Hurricanes do decide to go for that 3 relatively soon. And for the strong Crusaders before stuffing up the Aussies next week. And there says Sammy Souza, and also for Fakatava could be an All Black. It's just a race with TJ and Brad. And as well says Jason, now going off to the short side, Richie Moonga. I think they want to run this one out. Seven Reese takes it nicely. It's a foot race between him and Wes Wilson. Ball on the inside, beautifully done. Cullen Gray takes it now only 40 metres out. Look for the offload. And it's going to be almost stolen. Who's that? It's going to be a knock-on for the Crusaders now. Wide sling and pass from Scott Barrett. Sits up for Braden Eno. Rush defence from Savi. He's off his wing now. And Will Jordan sees that and makes the most of it. Stepping on the inside. Ball off to Tom Christie. Look for the offload. Right, Cody Taylor's put this one down over the line. It's a little forward pass, though. And in fact, they've called it a knock-on. Bryn Hall's asking the question of, is it off the arm, though? Okay, Bryn Hall, I think he was wanting them to have a look at that one and go Hurricanes. I feel like he would have, I would love a Hurricanes jersey. I would. I'll probably wear it even when rugby's not on. And so I'm considering buying one. They do look very nice on the telly. No, okay, New Zealand now winning their game. And the Sevens, I should mention also, we've got there, well, what a run by the Crusaders and all the way from their own try line to almost score. And I feel like that sums up the way that the Crusaders do play. Oh, was that off the arm of Julian Savia there? They decided against having a look at it, and at least I should have an NPC team since he lives somewhere between Dunedin and Christchurch, I'm guessing. There says Sammy Souza, yeah. So pretty much it would be the case I've got to pick between Canterbury and Otago, and I still can't decide that one. Because I know that my mum supports Otago. Canterbury, I think, was slightly closer. And Julian Savia playing well. Yeah, last-ditch tackle there to be able to stop them from going over for the Crusaders. But currently now, ball's going to be fed in once again here by Cam Roigard. Pressure in the breakdown. And now only a couple meters. Oh, he's dropped that one, Roigard. He has been able to regather. It went backwards, so no harm, no foul. That one, and now they are looking to give it back to Jackson, Garden, Bishop. See, for me, I would argue, it's a penalty for the Hurricanes. That works out. I was going to say, I would argue Geordie Barrett should be the kicker from there just because they do need to try their best to get as many meters as possible. And when God says, let there be light, Julian Savia says, yes, please. Or say, please, and there says Lord. And also scrolling around the South Island, or strolling around the South Island wearing a Hurricanes jersey. Yeah, that wouldn't be ideal. Probably get more than Powerade thrown at me. On that one, depending on how they go as well. If they won this game, I wouldn't be able to leave the house. Currently, the Hurricanes is a good kick downfield from Geordie Barrett. Does find touch with it as well. Julian Savia or Caleb Clark. We saying off current form or who I think will be able to get themselves like an All Blacks kit. I think I'm in Blenheim at the moment, but still go for the Canes. And there says Daisy. Yeah, currently. That's the thing. I think we've got quite a few people in the North Island who support South Island teams and South Island who support North Island teams, which is quite cool as it's kind of all scattered out throughout the country. But Ricky Jackson, he's now on the field. That looked like an awkward fall there for Zach Gallagher, but he gets straight back up as if nothing happened. Julian Savia, good crash ball from him. 16 has been told to not go for that one, and I believe that was actually Ricky Jackson, ex-Highlanders and Otago man. Passing it across the hands of the bus. Julian Savia. In fact, that was Tavita Mafaleo. That's the thing. When you've got Savia in form, he just doesn't avoid any chance of getting his hands on the ball. Good run forward from Josh Morby. Straight on it, almost for Harvey, right around the bootlaces, though. And a good tackle made. Currently still driving their way forward. I believe that was Carreras Sims. Beautiful inside ball to Geordie Barrett. Finds the offload to Garden Bishop. And he is going to be going down there. Bryn Hall straight on the ball. He's lost his footing. They're unable to turn it over now. Balin Sullivan, great step there on the inside. Tackle by Bauer. Ball's a bit loose, but they have done well. No, they haven't. It's a knock-on. Go Crusaders, and there says Dougie. And also is Julian Savia allowed back in the All Blacks? I assume so. If he's in form enough and he can get selected, I think he can be. Who knows? Maybe he makes a late run for it. Heck, I'm on the Honshu Island in Japan. I support the Canes, says Rando. So there you go. All around the world, not just the country. Unfortunately, yeah, just a little drop there from Tavita Mafaleo. Just lost control over the ball. Oh, that might have been Sione Mafaleo. I keep on confusing the two. Discipline will decide the match. From now on, says Danny, it certainly will. Currently, the last 5 handling errors, we're seeing 3 from the Hurricanes and 2 from the Crusaders. Currently, New Zealand, they are sitting 19 points to 7 ahead of Scotland. So more than likely, it does mean that we are going to get to see the Kiwis through to the quarterfinals. And come on, Canes, get this one so Katie can twerk for us. And there says Tesla. Well, that one is out. Also, we got the Hurricanes emoji from Katie a little bit earlier on. Currently now 12 minutes left in this fixture, and it is still so close. Albuquerque, New Mexico supports the Canes. And there says Katie Dixon. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier on, we've got another game that has taken place a little bit later on tonight, and that is going to be taking place at 7:05 p.m. New Zealand time. But we might actually end up having time to do Samoa versus England before this next game that has taken place for Super Rugby. So that would be pretty exciting if we can do so. So we'll see how quickly I can get that set up after this one to see if we can get that all up and running and ready to go. We just need one more try, and then we are back up there. says Daisy there in the chat. And I was aware that second game of Saturday night should be a ripper between Waikato and Auckland. Yep. I mean, it's that North Island derby. You know, it's kind of our equivalent of when we get to see like the Hurricanes, not the Hurricanes, Highlanders versus Crusaders. I feel like it's those ones that are right up the top that everyone just loves watching. And last time it was a pretty close game between the two sides as well, I should mention. Now Richie Mo'unga running it hard at the line now. Looks like Bryn Hall just setting this one up for George Bauer to have a carry. They need to make sure that they're hanging on to this ball well here for the Crusaders, because if they make a mistake where they are currently, they are going to probably pay for it. But nice offload there from David Avili up to Will Jordan now. Was tackled by Cam Roigard. His knees are on the ground, so they do have to release him. Bryn Hall, good timing on that one from Artie Savia. Cullen Grace with the step. Doesn't quite find the offload that he would have been after. Lester Whananoku decides to pick and go himself. The moment Artie Savia working hard, and the breakdown, he's stolen the ball as well. Now Duplessis Karefi got a bit of space down the wing, goes almost in a touch. He's dropped the ball again. At this stage, his hands don't like him. Richie Mo'unga now going through. Great low tackle on him by Artie Savia. Now Scott Barrett looking for the run 40 metres out. This is just counter-rucking and counter-rugby at its finest here at the moment for the Crusaders and also the Hurricanes. It's another advantage now for the Crusaders. We have got there the Vampires of Transylvania also go for the Canes. And then come on, Canes, go, go, go. And there's now Will Jordan fires it back across. Braden in all good hands. Go to take that one. It looked like he lost all momentum there with a step. And that is going right back for the penalty. I feel Karefi is playing horribly. Yeah, he got that first try in the 11th minute. But other than that, here's a bit of a shocker, unfortunately. And probably because the only Kiwi city a majority of people know is Wellington. And there is says Sebastian, go Canes. And there it says Nirvana, what's the highlight so far? I would say probably, I mean, if the Crusaders have scored it, that one how they went from 5 metres out from their own line and they went to 5 metres out from the Hurricanes line, all in a couple phases. But they didn't score it in the end, so I'd have to say probably Julian Savia down the wing. His 50-22 followed by that crash ball that he did. And then the game keeps getting out of sync with you. And there says Lord as well. Yeah, sorry about that one. I know that because I'm on Sky Go, there's a little bit of a delay by about 30 to 40 seconds, and sometimes it does change just a little bit in there. Currently now, it will be the line out here for the Crusaders. And Pasi Tosi on Super Rugby debut. He wasn't initially going to be there, I don't think. And also we've got their Savia 50-22. What an unintentional beast. This says Rando. Now, it is Lester Whananoku, another crash, but we did see his brother, Tima Whananoku, playing not too long ago. Boy, they look similar as well. Like, imagine having one of those guys on each of your wings. It would be incredible. Speaking of good players out on the wing, Tom Christie now driving towards the sideline. He somehow just kept himself. No, he's not. He's out. But that one, the flag has gone up. But yeah, a player down the wing, Kenny Naholo. The Crusaders have signed him. They haven't played him too much. I'd like to think that with this performance from George Bridge, we do get to see maybe him get in there for the next game. I think Tamaiti Williams and Geordie Barrett having a bit of a chat there. I don't think Tamaiti Williams is the player that you want to actually try and pick a fight with, because he's quite a large man and he'll break you in half. And the Savi boys need to inspire their team. Come on, Artie. And as us says JT, yeah, either way this game's ending close. It's just whether or not it is going to be a win in favour of the home side, the Hurricanes, or the Crusaders will be able to sneak it. But 7 minutes left in this fixture now. Nicely stolen. Taken by Bryn Hall now over the top. It is Richie Mo'unga. Another stepping opportunity here. Still driving for themselves. Now Bryn Hall goes back across George Bauer. Does get the carry. Good drive. 5 metres out. 2 metres out now. They continue. He's close. Oh, he's put it down backwards. I think Geordie Barrett, he's asking for the knock on. No one saw it though. I think it might have gone backwards. They'll have to check that one. But Richie Mo'unga now wrestled down. Gives it off to Sever Reese. Normally will just throw himself straight out of the line. Now Hall goes out to Richie Mo'unga. Oh, he's tackled a little bit high there. Draw past Tom Christie goes over and scores the try. And no FFS and there as well. But I believe they will have to go back to see whether or not that one was a 4 pass and what time Chiefs versus Blues kick off, guys. It is going to be 7:05 that one has taken place. I only see one fire now Nuku for the All Blacks, since the other are we playing for his island country of heritage as well. See Simi Souza. Okay. Tom Christie scored there. Are they going to check that one on the ground? I believe it was initially Ricky Jackson Time off, they're going upstairs for this one as well. The coach is not happy at the moment. He's got the feet on the desk. And also we've got there the crying face from Katie Dixon, although it's not over yet. The question is whether or not this went forward or backwards. For me, I believe if he loses contact of it completely, then I think if he loses contact with the ball and then grabs it again, that's actually playing the ball on the ground, if I'm not wrong. TMO times there, Sammy, so that we're going up for a TMO decision, something that we were expecting at some stage in this match. Of course, we normally get quite a few of them. And I was like, hey, and there says Casey, welcome in. If paper beats rock, rock beats scissors, and scissors beat paper, what beats all three at the same time? Julian Savia. Although saying that, I would say that paper cuts aren't a lot of fun. Okay. Did he lose control of that one? Are you watching IPL yesterday? I did see the highlights of the game. That is as far as I got. I didn't get to watch it live. Unfortunately, Geordie Barrett punch in the air. He was the only one that saw the knock on. Says like, yeah, he was begging for it from the referee. Okay. What do we got? Right. The TMO is going to be in charge of this one. Pretty much Brendan Pickerel said, you're going to have to tell me what happened there. We've just got replays of seeing the crowd. And also what's it called then? It is called as a knock-on, no try for that one. And also we've got there now Julian Savia is no Chuck Norris in there, says Sammy Souza. And no try, says Louis. It is indeed no try. And 5 meters out, it is now going to be the scrum feed for the Hurricanes. And we're no try. Let's go, Canes. And there says Tesla. So currently only another 6 minutes left in this game. And the Hurricanes 5 meters out from their own line here. It's going to be tricky to get out from this point in time. But if they can do so, hang on, what's happened there? They're going to have to take that Crusaders try back, because that one is not allowed. Unless, of course, they steal it in this line out or the scrum feed and they do end up getting it. But I don't believe, so that will change back to only being a little bit of a difference. And so close there. Question is, this scoreline for me seems very, very familiar. Have these two sides had a 21-24 win recently? And Damino try on holy moly, yo. And then so close there. Says Sammy, so that certainly was. It's not showing me the chicks in the crowd and go to the actual replay. And then as well, says Sebastian. Yeah, Brendan Pickerel, he was like, you're going to have to tell me what happened in that one, Mr. TMO, because we didn't see it on our screen. Only now, big push there, and we're stuffed. Here's Daisy there, although it's not over yet. Artie Savia going off the back. Josh Morby getting the step spinning as well. If they end up with a penalty against them, the Crusaders might be able to extend it to 6. They've got the advantage now. They go back, and it is going to be the penalty. And also Chiefs 1, Crusaders 24-21. Is that where the scoreline looks so similar in that regard? Scott Barrett penalised there for the Crusaders. Hurricanes have not won at game, or Hurricanes have not won at home since the Crusaders, or up against the Crusaders, since the 10th of March 2018. It's been about 1,500 days since we've seen them have a win. But another stat that we did have is anytime the Hurricanes go into halftime leading, they actually end the game winning up against Crusaders 8 from 8. And also go the Crusaders all the way. Says Coop and Ty. But now it is going to be the line out for the Hurricanes. 76 minutes through. Currently now James O'Reilly, he's still out there on the field. He's gone to the back. It's going to be taken nicely by Julian Savia. It's a forward pass. And the end are a little knock on from the bus. And also perhaps Raw says, Lord, if they get a 3, we will be going to golden point, which would be a pretty exciting way to end this matchup. But like I mentioned, we are actually going to be having the matchup next. That is happening between the Chiefs and the Blues. Although in between that, we might actually be doing Samoa versus England for the 7s. If that is something you guys are keen for, as that game will be kicking off in about 15 minutes time. And also it doesn't overlap with any of the Super Rugby. And that wasn't forward. And then I think it was the bounce of the ball. I think he ended up dropping it for that one rather than the forward pass. I did get that one slightly wrong. And golden point in there, maybe a golden point is just around the corner here. Currently just around the corner is the end of this game. Only 3 minutes left. And also we have got the extra time if the Hurricanes can tie it. And that certainly will be. But the Crusaders now going to have the scrum feed 50 meters out. Okay, it's going to be a scrum reset. So this will use up just a little bit more time here for the Crusaders, they won't be minding this too much. And also, we could be a golden. Did the Crusaders get tried tonight? They did indeed. So a little knock on the ground from Ricky Jackson then meant that it didn't quite go out the way that they did need it to in that breakdown. Was that a sentence? I don't know, but pretty much he had a little juggle. Okay, I thought I was blind. Come on, boys. And there's also the Hurricanes. There's Katie Jackson. It's certainly a close fixture at the moment. 77.5 minutes. So that's used up an extra 30 seconds. Currently, there are plenty of Hurricane supporters and attendance. It's going close to down in the front row. It's popped right out the back for the Crusaders. The clean line out, or the clean scrum, sorry. Now Richie Mo'unga passes it off into the hands of Sever Reese. If they can hang on to this ball and keep it down the end of the Hurricanes, that is their best opportunity to go on and win this game. Ethan Blackadder now taking the contact. Will Jordan with the step. Got to make sure you take him down earlier, else you get yourself into some big trouble with him creating space. Ethan Blackadder, the try scorer from a little bit earlier on. Crusaders actually only one try off a bonus point as well, I should mention. If they do end up scoring very soon here, they will get themselves another bonus point and actually cancel out the bonus point, possibly, of the Hurricanes. That was the Crusaders. For keep try that maybe you for some reason, saying Crusaders 50 times. All now, George Bauer. Another run there. Ball's popped out on the side of the Hurricanes. Kicked him on by Roygaard. He sees the space. He went for the 50-22. It's going to be bouncing up 5 meters out from the line. Will Jordan will back his pace. And he's got Geordie Barra running across. They've decided to run it out here for the Crusaders. And now Lester Whainānuku puts boot to ball straight down into the hands of the youngster Ruben Love. He's got some space on the halfway line, almost going straight through, but wrestled down. And a very good tackle by Ricky Jackson. It's a clean turnover by the Crusaders. And now Richie Mo'unga. He sees a bit of space. He's going for it as well. Accelerates up to the halfway line. It's a knock-on from Cullen Grace back into the hands of the Hurricanes. 1 minute left now between these two sides. Stolen. It's a turnover. It's good, but it is going back for the scrum now. And also we have got there, come on, Hurricanes. And then Nick Minute and getting messy it is. And also, right, watch the spam sandwich, the Spamsaurus. And this is Katie Jackson. And also, man, says Desmond, also, well, some close games being played this weekend. There sure are. And this one is no different. I don't believe the Canes will win now. They've still got a chance, though. It's their attacking scrum. So they have still got that in their favour. Currently, okay, they're saying it's touch and go from Lester Whainānuku for that turnover for himself. Could have ended up getting penalised. And it could have gone to golden point on my brother David, says Sebastian. And there as well. And also, got to love New Zealand rugby, man. Has you feeling like it's a World Cup final. Yeah, it certainly has. And I'm on the edge of my seat at the moment. I don't know which way this one's actually going to go. Currently, they are just having a bit of a team chat here for the Hurricanes, trying to work out what the plan is from here on out. And also, hey, howdy, hey, brother. Yeah, I don't. We always got that well, says Lord, and also time running out for the Canes, unless they have the last throw of the dice. Yep, so they've got the scrum feed here. Very even in this game, 50-50 possession, and 5 minutes of time in the opposition, 22. That is about as even as you can get for stats at this point of a game. So it's pretty awesome that they've been able to take it so far and at this matchup. But yeah, do you guys want to see Samoa versus England as the sevens one, or would you prefer to try and go, or we will be going over to Super Rugby anyway, but are you guys interested in those sevens matches? And also, this feels like the Highlanders game from last week. And there says Lord, and also Chiefs, says Louis there as well. But currently on the halfway line, I believe time is about to be turned back on. Valen Sullivan, he'll be nervous. He was the one who helped them get the winner up against the Blues in the first round that they did play of Super Rugby. I've also got Ruben Love out there, Cam Roygaard, a lot of young guys for the Hurricanes. Penalty would make it go to golden point. It's a big push there for the Crusaders. Roygaard's got it out the back now. Where's Wilson? They've got another 20 seconds left, and it's still on their side. It was a little knock on the ground, I think. But they have said for now, play on. Still available here for the Hurricanes. Roygaard off now to Ruben Love. 15 seconds. Roygaard once again goes across Princep. Now off to Geordie Barrett. Big hit on him by Tamaiti Williams. Now passing it back. It's a little bit loose. The bus, Julian Savia. Where's Wilson? Takes the contact. That's the siren. Crusaders trying to turn this ball over. Julian Savia bumps off the tackle of Mo'unga, but he did have to try and run over the top of him, which didn't really work out as he was pretty much trying to run over a massive lump on the ground. Not that Richie Mo'unga is a massive lump on the ground. It's a penalty to the Crusaders. No, sorry, it's the Canes. Okay. Right. So. Okay. 3 points would give them a draw, and we go to golden point. Corey Jane is saying, kick it for the corner. The water boy's running out there. Artie's going, what do you want us to do? And I think Corey Jane said, go for the corner. Oh, good Lord, in there as well. Geordie Barrett, he's just listening to Savia. What do they decide? What's happening, Geordie Barrett? They're kicking for the corner here. This could be make or break for the Hurricanes now. Golden point. Well, no, not quite. They've decided against it. They're kicking for the corner. And they are going to see whether or not they can get this one over for not just this. It's going to be, and also going for the corner. That's ballsy. It's very ballsy. Very, very ballsy. 5 meters out now. The Hurricanes are going to have the opportunity to try and win this game. We're at 81 minutes. Anytime this ball goes away, it's a huge amount of pressure on the youngster. He's on debut at number 16. Oh, Ethan Blackett. Oh, in fact, no, sorry, that was Scott Robertson. He actually left the coaching box. Right. Here we go. James O'Reilly. Oh, it was almost stolen. It's gone down straight away, though, for the Hurricanes. And they are looking for this ball. It might be stuck in there. It's stuck. It's going to be stuck. And if it doesn't come out, it's going to be the Crusaders. No, they've got the advantage. Wait a minute. No, that's the end of the game. The Crusaders get it. They would have had the scrum. And that's not going to be a scrum. That is the end of the match. And the Crusaders win it. 24 points to 21. The Canes risked it all. And they walked away with nothing other than a bonus point. I should mention they still get the one. Final dice being thrown. And then, man, GG, says Tesla. And that one, but yeah, so close for the Hurricanes. Hardy Savi is not happy. He wants a TMO check on that one. But whatever happened in that breakdown, it was just enough to keep it in the side of the Crusaders. No dice. Crusaders have won on GG. Both teams have faulty line out. And there's Sebastian there. Jeez, what a game, eh? And if the Chiefs versus Blues game is anything like that one, I think I'm probably going to have my heart rate boosted up well and truly throughout the whole match. And they're going to see teammates choice. So we'll see how we go. If we have got time to set up that Samoa versus England game, we will do that one before we get to the next Super Rugby game. But if not, we will be back for the Chiefs versus Blues game that is coming up. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one.